Gonzaga trails Oklahoma 21-19 first half. Oregon beat Iowa 95-80. Luka Garza had 36 in the loss.
Spend your tax return wisely. With Straight Talk Wireless, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense. Tune in to Straight Talk.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Holy cow, my bracket. Here's how hard this is. Here's how hard it is. I entered a survivor pool.
Yeah.
And you can re-enter on day 2, like if you mess up. So
that's how they get you.
So here's the thing, right? You pick 2 teams on day 1 and 2 teams on day 2. And then after that, it's like 1 team. Well, day 1, I messed up, picked Tennessee. I'm out. So to get back in, you got to pick 4 teams to then get back in and on the wave. Okay?
Yep.
Well, I picked 4 teams correct on day 2.
Yeah.
And I think I picked yesterday's correct. No, I lost yesterday. Oklahoma State. I needed to pick 1.
Mm-hmm.
I pick Oklahoma State. They lose. So today I have to pick 4 more to re-enter for a 3rd time.
Yeah.
Iowa gets blasted.
There you go, man.
I mean,
you hate to see it.
I saw this other pool. It's done by 3 days in. The survivor pool's done.
Yeah.
I bet most of them are.
It's March Madness, man.
I mean, this might be. We're going to have recency bias here and say this is like the greatest whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't had a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
But other than that, don't we have everything in March Madness so far in the first week? We haven't even made it through the 4th day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
It's insane.
To what's going on. And it makes you wonder, did they just not know, kind of what Matthew Driscoll told us last week, did they just not know where to seed some of these teams? Like, did they really not have a good grip on who was good and where they should be? Because, heck, Loyola Chicago doesn't look like an 8 seed, do they?
No,
Syracuse obviously just gets in. They're an 11 seed. They're playing excellent. I mean, heck, Oral Roberts doesn't look like a 15 seed.
Yeah.
So some of it's magic, but when you have this many upsets and some of these big guys going down, I mean, Illinois was so good all year.
Oh, yeah, I had them winning it, so that made my bracket pretty easy to just throw in the trash.
Here's the deal, too. You know what's crazy about it? This is why I'd say, like Ty and I were talking about it yesterday, sometimes you get lucky and you win, right? See, Abilene Christian beat Texas and knocked out my bracket, but they got kind of lucky. They shot 30% from the field. They shot 19% from three-point land. And if you watch that game, they hit 3 prayer shots. Like, they went off the backboard and in. And they ended up winning by 1 or whatever it was, couple. So, like, they needed everything to go right. That's one of those games where you're like, okay, that's Cinderella dancing.
Sure.
Like, and I'm convinced, and I think Abilene plays today against UCLA, I'm convinced Abilene Christian is going to get pummeled today. Like, that was their moment.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
so maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, you say that, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
But then you get to teams like Loyola, who front to back just whooped up on Illinois.
Yeah.
Like, they never even let them have a chance to breathe. So, like, you have Oregon today, front to back, just whooped Iowa. You have a lot of that going on, like with these seeds. I mean, Rutgers should have won that game. They actually were winning that game the most of the way until late over Houston. So I think when you have those kind of games, where like it's one thing to pull an upset and you have a little magic at the end or you hit some shots that are crazy. I think it's a totally different thing when you like beat a team for 40 minutes and like they weren't even close really and you beat them by like double digits. You're kind of better than them. That's like a little bit more than an off night.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking 14 versus a 3 seed, that's a little. Again, you can get away with your C game usually and win that game.
Sometimes, yeah.
In most tournaments.
Yeah.
Not this year, it doesn't seem like.
No,
That's why the seeding seems wacky.
This has just been the anomaly of all anomalies this year of how they've ranked these teams. And to be fair, I mean, I think the committee really didn't have a choice because when you play within your conference, like I can sit here and say, yeah, I think the Big Ten is better than the MVC, or I can sit here and say, I think probably the Pac-12 is better than the OVC. But sometimes we don't know that because we just get accustomed to, you know, what makes us feel comfortable. Now, like, am I sitting here to say, is Loyola going to be a Final Four team? I have no idea. I think they're playing good basketball right now. I think they got in the tournament playing good basketball, and that was one of the things that Coach Driscoll kind of talked about a little bit is which of these teams finished the season playing great basketball. Now, sometimes, once again, that's an anomaly because Villanova didn't finish the season playing good basketball, and Villanova's still into it. So there is no rhyme or reason of teams advancing or not, and this is what will make basketball such a great sport. I mean, we see Cinderella stories every single year. But what I feel like is we haven't seen, and maybe I'm wrong, but like I can't remember a time where all these favorites have been bounced out so early. And to me, that's the crazy thing about this tournament.
Yeah, and by the way, big one going on right now. Gonzaga's up by 4 of Oklahoma, but Gonzaga is the real favorite. Like, Gonzaga feels like Alabama this year. Baylor's very good, too, but Gonzaga feels like they are a notch above. Gonzaga's been Gonzaga, and Gonzaga's had good teams before, and I've picked Gonzaga to win it, and then they disappoint. Heck, they lose, I think, in a championship game, or maybe the Final Four even a couple times. But Gonzaga always feels like, okay, this could be the year, this could be the year. They're no longer that Cinderella they were for the first 5, 7, 8 years. Well, this even feels magnified. Like, they really feel like a Goliath this year. They have just been so good. And we're going to find out because they're only up by 4 right now against Oklahoma. It's a good test for Gonzaga. And if Gonzaga starts to struggle and goes down, well, then I don't know what the heck to tell you the rest of this tournament.
How many teams right now do you have in the Sweet 16?
Oh, boy, I have to look. Now that they just lost Iowa, too, I probably have – I think I had knocked out 6 of them.
You have 6 teams in the Sweet 16 still?
I'll have to check.
Okay.
I'll have to check. I think I knocked out 6. I think I had more than that left.
No, I'm saying, like, where do you sit right now? How many teams do you have in the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I got to check.
Okay, check it out.
I got to check.
All right.
So I'll bring out the bracket. I know what. I know this. I'll tell you. Here's what sums it up. My mascot bracket on day one, I went 12-4.
Yeah.
My real bracket, I went 8-8.
There you go, man. Say no more.
And then day 2, I lost Texas, my national champ.
Yeah.
So that sums up my bracketology. I mean, it is unbelievable. But makes for a great tournament. We'll talk about more of it. How mad? I've got to tell you, I was legitimately mad I lost Texas. Mad.
Yeah.
Like so mad that I was glad Illinois lost for all you people that picked Illinois because I wanted you to feel some pain.
Sure.
Like, I'm not that guy usually, but it was 18 hours later, and I was still pissed off about it.
It was bittersweet for me because I had Illinois win the whole thing, but, it's Illinois, so we're all good. So it was bittersweet for me. But I'm a little upset with Cal Santa Barbara because on Saturday I decided to place a little bit of a wager. We'll call it a 10-team parlay, if you will. Had Florida State winning, had Colorado winning, had Kansas winning, had Michigan winning, had Alabama winning, had USC winning, had Iowa winning, had LSU covering by -4. That covered. Had Ohio beating Virginia. The only team that didn't help me out in my 10-team parlay was a last-second 4-foot bank shot missed by Santa Barbara that cost me the whole thing.
Yeah, and they got a good look there, too.
Yeah. No, I didn't really lose any money off it because it was a couple bucks. I mean,
what was the return on that, though? Like, not
that was it was
like plus what?
It was plus 7,800.
Plus 7,800, and you came a 3-footer away from hitting on it.
Now keep in mind, like, Ohio didn't play till later that night, so I was still like, but then I watched the Ohio game. I'm like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Santa Barbara. And I thought Santa Barbara was going to be the shoo-in. Like, I'm like, there's no way.
Man. You guys love those bets.
We love them, man.
Well, but here's the problem with that bet to me. I'd be so mad I only put $5 on it.
No, there's no way. There's no way. Like, a 10-team parlay now?
I know, but it's like, if you get plus 7,800, give me the 100, put 100 on it.
No, I hear you. But like, here's how I was approaching. I'm like, well, my Final Four, I was like, my Final Four is pretty much busted. So I was like, well, I got to keep this interesting and keep watching on Saturday. I'm like, let's put down a little wager here on a 10-team parlay so that way I can watch throughout the whole day. And then, of course, Santa Barbara loses kind of like, I think it was like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, so that killed it. But it is what it is.
We, Friday night, put a bunch of bets in and didn't do very well. So then Saturday, we're like, okay, we got to get back to even. Let's just put a bunch of stuff. We were betting like first half over-under, second half over-under.
Oh, you were in Tampa. That's right.
You guys are degenerates.
And obviously alcohol was involved. So
yeah.
We got 12 wrong in a row.
Heck, I feel
that should be a bet in itself.
in a row.
If you get 12 wrong in a row, that should pay out for something.
That should pay out for something. That's impressive, Coos. 12 in a row.
Just do the opposite of Coos.
I could have been drunk and picked a better bracket.
Oh, man, who telling? Who you telling?
My bracket's drunk.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're not considered experts in this thing. Could you imagine being an expert and, I don't know.
I don't think the experts even can be experts this
Sure,
year.
but like I don't know. Like people get paid to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
It's wild. The funny thing is, this is what you love, though. Seriously, if you don't take what you're picking, this is so crazy now, and everybody's all over the place in their bracket that it's really enjoyable to watch all the upsets. Like we like the upsets. It's crazy about just whether it's a movie, whether it's a sporting event. If you don't have a sincere rooting interest, you love the upsets. And so, like, Ty loves the upsets. I got Texas in my national championship. I almost had to punch him on the couch because
hey, careful now. The courts can use that against you.
Yeah, that's true. He's
it's
almost
live
of age.
radio. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I mean, he's sitting there rooting for Abilene Christian against my national champ.
Yeah.
I had to throw him out of the house.
Yeah.
But then, see, karma gets you, man.
Yeah.
Because he's a Gator, and he's rooting for Florida, and they got the 15 seed that knocks off Florida, so the 15 seed goes to the Sweet 16, which is the ultimate upset pick.
I know, but see, I'm all for the underdogs and the Cinderella stories, and I wasn't cheering for Florida because why would I cheer for Florida? I'll be honest with you. I have no allegiance to the SEC. It doesn't really matter to me. But I'm not an Oral Roberts supporter. I'll be honest with you because I can't take your name seriously.
Oh, okay. It's nothing to do with Murray State.
No, nothing to do with Murray State whatsoever. I just can't take your name seriously. And I can't take your I mean, like, you look at that crowd and it's like, I don't know. Where are they from again? Missouri,
Tulsa, I think.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. I can't take Oral Roberts seriously. Like, if I see Oral Roberts in the Elite Eight or the Final Four, heaven forbid, I don't know what I would do, Brent. I really don't know.
Yeah, listen, Oral Roberts, nice story. We'll talk a little bit about the Gators, talk about the Knowles coming up later tonight, and we'll talk more about March Madness. Listen, it's a fun thing, kind of like the Monday. Yeah, you forgot about Monday, and it's like going on right now. I seriously forgot about the opening tip. I thought it was going to be a little bit later on Monday, so we got another full day of hoops, and it's really an incredible tournament. There's nothing like it in sports, I say. It's the most unpredictable thing we have in sports. Yeah. I think, unless I'm missing something, but it feels like the most unpredictable thing that we have. Hey, the last year has been super unpredictable when it comes to sports. The NFL draft did not happen. It was a virtual event instead. It is happening in Cleveland. They're going to make it work.
It's cool.
Is that a big deal? The virtual draft seemed like a pretty big hit. There were a lot of good things
we
to
can see
it.
coaches' houses.
Well, I think we're going to see elements of that, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll see elements of that. But isn't it a nice sign? I think of kind of moving forward over the last year that the NFL is saying, hey, we think we can pull off the draft in Cleveland. I think I kind of felt like the NFL at times would lead the way on this. If you go back to last year's conversations, I said, as long as there's football on Sunday, I think things will feel somewhat normal. Like they'll have a normalcy to it. If there wasn't football on Sunday, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. That's how much of a leader I thought in our kind of society, in our sports world. Again, for the non-sports fans, this isn't for you, but you wouldn't be listening to me right now anyway. So
probably not.
So Sundays, that gave us some sense of normalcy. We could play fantasy football. You could wager with a buddy. You could watch your favorite team. Sundays at 1, Sundays at 4, Sunday nights, all those things. Well, here football is again, and it feels like they're helping us get back to normalcy with the draft. It's going to be on location. We know it's not going to be virtual. That seems like it's a bit of a window inside what we could expect in the fall in open stadiums and full house capacity.
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking from the fans' perspective or even my perspective, like, it doesn't really make a difference to me. I know it means something to the players because, right, everyone wants to rock their new shoes and everything. Everyone wants to, put on their flyest outfit and give Raj Goodell a hug, even though it's always been crazy to me why you do that, because 2 years later you're upset with him over the CBA and like you hate him. But it's all good. Go ahead and give Raj Goodell a hug if you want
This
to.
is going to hurt sweatpant manufacturers.
For sure. They're definitely going to take a hit. I'm sure New Era is going to be pumped up because now their draft day hats are going to be, presented and all that good stuff. I think it's great. I think it's great for the optics, Brent. Once again, it's not really for me, but it's for the NFL, where it's like, hey, we're one step closer to having normalcy again. Not to say that, they did the best they could last year, but it wasn't the usual NFL season, right? There's a lot of things that were different. Having the draft in person, I assume there's going to be a restricted crowd there, probably a limited crowd, so they're still going to boo Raj Goodell, which is great. So you're still going to have a restricted crowd there, but it's going to feel more like it has in the past. And I think that's what you're looking forward to now. It's progress. And having the draft in person, seeing all the players live, and getting all those cool interviews and all that stuff, like that's one step closer to progress, I guess.
Yeah,
making
and
progress.
I do too. I see that as a little bit of that. There will be protocols in place. There will be a restricted amount of fans, a restricted amount of even players in attendance. I don't think they'll have their normal amount, and they'll probably check with who wants to be there. And I don't know how restricted the media is. I mean, quite frankly, we've been to the draft every year. We've been allowed to be at the draft. We are planning a draft special on TV.
Brent's trying to get his credentials in right now.
I don't know. I haven't checked that because it just came down today. But I don't know if like the Masters we usually go to.
Yeah.
Haven't been able to go this one included coming up or last one because it's restricted media. So I don't know if we'll be allowed to go to the draft, although I kind of hope so, but
Sure.
I don't know. So there will be some restrictions is my point. I just feel like it feels like a significant moment toward, hey, we're going to get back to some normalcy as we look at the later end of the summer and into the fall. And I don't know if that's reality. Maybe it's kind of a false pretense here, but it feels that way. So we'll see. And you know what? In a way, don't you want the draft to be as normal as possible, especially this year if you're a Jaguars fan? Don't you want to see Trevor Lawrence walk across that stage as a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars with the number 1 pick? The Jaguars on the clock when that draft coverage starts. Like there's something special about this year's draft when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have the number 1 pick. They're going to get Trevor Lawrence. That's special. And by the way, they have 11 picks, so their name's going to be called a lot.
Yeah.
But you want to see all that come to fruition, and you want it to be almost as normal as possible to relish in that. I think fans want that. I do think fans appreciate that and kind of look forward to that.
Oh, it's going to be normal, Brent. It's going to be as normal as possible. I can't wait till the pick is in with the first pick overall, and all of a sudden they go to the NFL Play 60 commercial, and there's little kids running around my screen, and all of a sudden, oh, we're on pick number 2. Here's the highlights from Trevor Lawrence. He gives Roger Goodell a hug, and there he goes. I can't wait for it, man. A tradition like no other.
Well,
with all due respect to the Masters.
We've talked about this before. Why do people go to the draft? Would you go to the draft? Someone like Trevor Lawrence, you'd think would go to the draft. Now, he's very humble. He doesn't seek the spotlight. I still think he goes to the draft. Do you think there's any chance he just hangs out at home in Cartersville, Georgia?
Did you see his shoes, though, that he wore for his pro day? He's going to the draft.
Yeah.
You see the cleats that he wore?
Yeah.
Those dunks?
Yeah.
He's going to the draft.
Yeah.
You don't. I get you're humble and everything, but you don't wear the dunks for your pro day and then not go to the draft.
Yeah,
he's going.
I think he's going to the draft.
Yeah.
And by the way, like if I'm his marketing, it's a good marketing plan is to be at that draft. That's more exposure for you for whatever you're signed up with potentially or whoever. I mean, that's it's a big deal. He'll be there. I think so too. I mean, we don't know, but I would think Trevor Lawrence will be there. And the Jaguars will be ready to take him at number 1. What's more interesting, guys like Christian Barmore, say they were to pick him, or Kadarius Toney, or you name it at 25. I'm not suggesting who they're going to pick. I'm just naming names that have been on mock drafts. And there's a really good chance that those guys aren't there because they may limit the field. They may only say, hey, the top 20 or so picks rather than 40 or so picks, or whatever the number they usually put on that. So
I mean, I don't know what you're going to do for that. I don't know if you go because usually it's like what? I mean, usually if you like top 40, like first, second round.
I don't know the number where they cut that off.
But there's a bunch of second round picks sometimes that get up there.
Some slip.
Yeah.
What they never want to really tell you is like Jawan Taylor went in the second round, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, he was there.
Of course, man. I remember his fashion.
Yeah,
he had the shoes,
What they probably don't want to tell you is how many people deny them and say no to them, so they never really put a number on it.
Yeah.
We're going to have 40 here, and we're going to get 40. Even if 4 guys say no, we're going to replace them. I don't think they do that. I think there's no rhyme or reason to that.
Say you were a first-round pick, a guaranteed first-round pick. Would you go to New York? Oh, well, it's not New York. That's in Cleveland. But would you go live in person, or would you do your own thing?
No, I'd go live.
Okay.
I'd be a part of it.
Okay.
I think it is cool, especially if you're the number 1 pick. I think it's cool.
I think it's cool, but I also think it's cool like when Joe Thomas from Wisconsin got drafted,
Absolutely.
and he was on a fishing charter, and he didn't even know he got drafted until he got off it.
I'm a
spotlight
spotlight seeker.
I hear you. I mean, you're in the profession for it. Yeah. Not on this show, but this show too. But obviously the other side of things.
I think I would though. I think I try to enjoy every part of that. But I do believe the NFL wants to embrace what they learned last year. Was some of that virtual stuff was cool.
Yeah.
So I think we will see we're going to see this blend, and the NFL's smart enough. Whoever's producing it, they'll put it together. There's this blend of in person and also the virtual element of people's houses, and we could probably get some real fun stuff that way, and I think we did last year. But I think now that we've seen it, people will piggyback off that and have more creativity in what they're doing. I mean, from Belichick to the dog to who was it? Vrabel that had didn't they have the super the hero guy in the background or something?
Oh yeah, he had a bunch of weird stuff going on at his house.
We'll see more of that. Is my point.
Who was it? I think Harbaugh had a bunch of birdhouses.
Is that what
John Harbaugh had birdhouses? Kuz, NBA draft. If you're getting drafted first round, would you go?
Of course.
I feel like you got to the NBA though. Isn't that that's like an NBA tradition? When regardless if you go first, second, I feel like second round guys.
You know what's really interesting to me? I always see that NBA guys look so weird in suits.
Oh yeah, because they're not the biggest. Well, I mean they're
so
they're tall, but they're lanky usually.
But they don't like NFL guys who are big. Look good in suits.
Yeah.
NBA guys like Michael Jordan does not look good in a suit.
Well,
he looks odd.
man, because you saw him back then. Well, because that was the fashion back then.
Well, that's true.
It was the baggy suits.
Yeah,
Nobody looked good
suit.
in that type of suit.
I want. Yeah, maybe that is it. Maybe I have that kind of in my vision.
Yeah.
I always picture Michael Jordan in the suit.
Nothing was tailored back then. Man.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Jags free agents talked once again. I want to ask you a question today about positions that the Jags have done well in over the years and not well. And tight end obviously will come to mind. But I'll go deeper than that and what the Jaguars have to go get and have to get better at if they're going to be a successful franchise. And what have they done pretty well at in the past? So we'll talk about that coming up too.
I was curious what Kevin Durant looked like in his draft day suit because he's obviously very tall and very lanky, but not that bad. I mean,
it didn't look bad.
Given the circumstances back then, he actually had it tailored a little bit.
I mean, what is that? Is that like a 56 long? That must be the ultimate tailor job as an NBA guy. It's 56 long and a waist of 32.
20 chest or whatever. I know, man. I mean, the dude couldn't bench press 135. Imagine what that chest is.
We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. It's Shock Your Mock Day debut 2021.
I had to make it a theme song. Get ready for it. I made a theme song.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't even know when it's coming up,
yep.
But you'll have to listen on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Isolated showers along the coast, a cloudy and breezy day. Just not a great weather day out there. Afternoon temperatures in the mid-60s. Then mostly cloudy and breezy tonight, lows in the 50s. Partly sunny Tuesday, the weather improving, high 74. And then partly cloudy Wednesday, high 80 degrees. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special, too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair, all one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com. Where else can you get lunch and brunch and booze and specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Lunch and brunch and booze and specials and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
Honda of the Avenues is the winner of the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award, and you'll be satisfied too with the great deals happening in their service department. Honda of the Avenues has a 5% discount for seniors all the time and 10% military discounts. Plus, Ladies' Day is every Wednesday in the service department. That includes a free tire rotation with oil change and 5% off any other recommended service. See why so many people are giving Honda of the Avenues 5 stars. Find out more at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
But we could really take this show off the rails if we wanted to go all like half politics, half sports.
Austin Lane.
I mean, have you been on Twitter lately? Do you want extra $100,000? Do you want a scholarship? Let's go politics when we get back here.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I think just the camaraderie that we have with each other, and just the leader that he is. You know, obviously his offense, kind of speaks for itself. With the success that he's had since he's been in the league, and it's just a fun offense. It's a fun offense where I could go inside, go outside, do a lot of the things that I didn't do before having this offense. So it's a lot of stuff that you could do, and I think it fits perfect for me. So.
Whew. You got 2 options here.
I'm good. There's a couple, right? Or not? No? 2 options. 2. Why do you say 2?
Just go ahead.
Okay. Kenny Galladay.
No. That is either Philip Dorsett or Marvin Jones. I'm going to say it's Philip Dorsett.
Nope.
Dang it. It's Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones?
It's Marvin Jones.
Yep. That's my point.
I shifted at the end.
That's my point.
Your point.
It's how
Kenny
it goes.
Galladay.
Hey, you served it, and then it was to me.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So you had to serve, and it came back to me for my second guess, Marvin Jones.
I'll give you that.
That's fine.
Since I'm so far ahead of you.
I'm not sure about that. I don't. It's not like we keep score.
It's a bloodbath.
It's not a bloodbath. Keep in mind, sir, you were gone for like 5 days, and those 5 days, Coos, tell him, Coos, I was killing it. I was killing it. Nah, man, I was like Oral Roberts shooting the ball.
Yeah, boy. Hey, Philip Dorsett.
Yep.
And Marvin Jones. What do they do for the Jags offense, in your opinion?
Yeah. Obviously I'm focused on Marvin Jones a little more than Philip Dorsett, just because, as far as what we have to go off of Philip Dorsett, he was out last year. So I think Marvin Jones, I'm really curious because we don't know how they feel about Laviska Shenault. Now, obviously, we know that they're intrigued by him and he's going to be the gadget guy. But do you see Laviska as the 2 receiver, Brent, going forward, or do you think they're going to ease him into it?
That's a good question.
Because that's where
I feel like that's an interesting deal. He does so many different things. It's like I don't label him that.
Isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would say Marvin Jones coming in with the amount of touchdowns he's caught in the last few years, coming off a 76-catch season, I believe it was, as a career high, and you just gave him that kind of money, I got to believe he's your number 2 receiver. I think DJ Chark is still your number 1 guy, and if they want to kind of push it as 1A, 1B, that's fine too. But I think those are the top 2 guys going into this. Yeah. And then I think Shenault is that Swiss Army knife so much that he can be the 1 receiver, 2 receiver, 3 receiver, 4 receiver on any given play.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
No, I got you. And I say 2 receiver, not as opposed to is he X, is he a Y? Is he?
Yeah.
I just mean.
You know that better than me.
I'm just saying.
He might be a running back at times.
For sure. No, I'm just trying to say, if DJ Chark's double teamed and you have to go someplace else,
you go to Marvin Jones.
Yeah. Okay, so then, yeah.
I think sorry to interrupt, but I think you go to Shenault on designed plays almost.
Sure.
I don't know if he can be anybody can be a bailout guy, but I think you're designing certain looks to get him in space to go one-on-one with a guy because he breaks that tackle. Yeah. Because I think he was tied for the league lead in broken tackles from the receiver position last year. Mm-hmm. It's hard to bring him down. Yep. So that's why I would say, on a typical play, everybody's running their routes. I'm looking at DJ Chark, and then I'm going to Marvin Jones to answer your question.
And that's fair. I think Marvin Jones is going to be a huge part of this offense, obviously. He brings experience. He brings savviness. The dude had quite the career in Detroit. When we talk about Dorsett, Dorsett's more – I keep going back to what Urban Meyer said about speed. And when you look at Urban Meyer's track record in college of what he loved to do on offense, you had that vertical threat. You take the top off and you run verticals. Can Dorsett be that guy? I don't know. I'm not ready to sit here and say I think Dorsett's going to be the guy that takes the top off and good luck keeping up with him. I just can't quite say that on him yet because I haven't seen a lot the past couple years. I think that if he can go back to what he was, then he can definitely be that guy. But that comes with, is he 100% ready to go? He says that he is. And this is a guy that ran, a 4.33 at the combine and supposedly a 4.25 at his pro day. So the guy's got speed on top of speed. Can he be that reliable threat to take the top off? We'll see. But I think that's what Urban Meyer envisions when you bring Philip Dorsett in here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Can Marvin Jones play that role at the age he's at? I don't know. I don't think they feel like he's lost a step. He's 4'4" guy.
He is. And with all due respect to Marvin Jones, but I don't think of the trailblazer that can take the top off of it where he's at in his career right now. Yeah. I think he's a fantastic pass catcher. I think he's a route runner, and he can be like a red zone threat. But as far as the guy that's going to beat you with speed, and I get what the numbers say, but I don't get that vibe with Marvin Jones.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. I think it's hard to pigeonhole. I think we all envision, obviously, everybody when you say this envisions Tyreek Hill.
You envision Tyreek Hill. You envision Deshaun Jackson when in his prime. Yeah.
That's a good one because can Deshaun Jackson still do that at his age the way he did it before? The answer to that is probably no. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, here's the thing people forget. People love, 4.4 is a number that everybody loves. Everybody runs it.
Yeah.
Everybody runs a 4.4 now, Yeah. And that's not factual, but I'm dramatizing it for to just punctuate my point. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of – used to be a big deal to run a 4.4.
Correct.
In the NFL now, it's not as big a deal because so many guys run in the 4.3s and shoot, some guys are now sniffing 4.2s. you know? Yeah. And that's legit. People are doing – and then there's always the curiosity of how much does that shift to game speed and what do you play with pads on and everything else. So, listen, the bottom line is Urban Meyer wanted to get faster. Mm-hmm. Dorsett, fast. Marvin Jones, pretty fleet of foot. Mm-hmm. They got faster.
Yeah.
Are they still oh my goodness, look out, we're fast? I don't think so. I don't think they do that. I don't think they're going to scare the heck out of you. You know, the Jags have played. Who was the guy from Oakland? Was when they were Oakland? Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, I know him. He's got a long name. From Maryland, right?
I think so.
But
he was just like an okay receiver.
Yeah,
but even Ramsey, I think when he hooked up with him, was like, I got to respect that guy's speed. Like, he's that fast.
Yeah,
I think Ramsey had said. I think it was the Oakland guy that we're talking about.
I can't believe I can't get Darius Haywood Bay.
Okay, yeah, there you go. But
he's from Maryland.
And Haywood Bay was disappointing, right?
Sure.
I think this was the one I'm thinking about with Ramsey. But if not, it was somebody. But it was just like this okay receiver from a production standpoint. It wasn't like this all-pro receiver, like look out like Tyreek Hill, like that matchup we're talking about.
Sure.
Instead, it was like, hey, but I got to worry about that speed. The Jags still don't feel like they have that guy, you know?
No, and I agree with you there. And like you said, though, there's track speed and then there's football speed. And just because you have speed doesn't mean you're going to be a great wide receiver. Like John Ross says what's up from Cincinnati.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't he set the record?
Yeah, and by the way, Oakland and the Raiders as an organization have made a living at proving that just because you're fast doesn't mean you're good.
Without a doubt. Yeah, but when you have a guy like John Ross.
I mean, even Ruggs was just okay last year.
True. Now, I mean, he was a rookie, so we'll see what happens.
But it's just okay.
No, and like I think you could be like Hollywood Brown as well. I think he's a speedster, but like, you know, he kind of had an okay season last year. But that's the point. You know, I mean, you can put up these blazing fast numbers and have track speed, but can you put it all together on the field? Now, I think DK Metcalf can do that. We saw DK Metcalf run down a guy from 50 yards out. He's a fast individual, but he's football fast as well. And I think that's what Urban Meyer is obviously trying to get. Now, is Marvin Jones football fast? I think he's enough. Is Dorsett football fast? I mean, I hope he can show us something. But do they have that guy like a Deshaun Jackson that can take the top off? I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe that comes in the draft.
Well, keep in mind. So what am I getting at here? I'm trying to find out, did any of these acquisitions make their offense more dynamic?
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I think they got a little bit better. But I'm not like, wow, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Chris Conley is not going to be in Jacksonville. He said his goodbye today. I mean, he's not re-signing with the Jags. Keelan Cole is with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Marvin Jones is, I think, better than those guys.
Correct.
But not light years. Like, not like changing the offense kind of better to me. Is that me? Is that I just don't know enough about Marvin Jones?
I mean,
does he just...
He's coming from Detroit, remember, so he didn't get a lot of love just watching the Lions week in and week out.
Does he change their offense? Does he make their offense dangerous because they signed him to this deal?
Does Marvin Jones make this Jaguars offense dangerous? I think if you're a defensive coordinator right now and you're prepping for the Jaguars, last year was we got to stop DJ Chark, and that's it. And I get it. Laviska Shenault was doing
we'll
crazy
handle
things.
Everybody else.
And Colin Johnson's tall. We'll see with him. Tight end, I think this year when defenses are trying to game plan for the Jaguars, yes, you still take into account DJ Chark. I'm not sure what the numbers were last year. Not as good as 2000 and it would have been 19, but it doesn't really matter. You still got to take into account DJ Chark. And now you got a game plan for Marvin Jones, too. Like I think he's still that good of a wide receiver where he comes up on the board and saying, how do we stop this guy as well?
Okay, that's good. That's good. And by the way, I'm not trying to slate. Like, I'm not discrediting the signing of Marvin Jones. I like the signing. But there are different levels of when guy, like if you signed Galladay, potentially, you could, I mean, that's an $18 million a year guy. You could say, okay, that guy has a chance to change our offense if he does this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is there are a lot of ifs with Galladay, too, and I think that's why teams stayed away from him. I think this is a safer pick, a safer signing in Marvin Jones. I just don't know if he absolutely changes what you're doing. I think he makes you a bit better. But he does he make you dynamic and more dynamic than you already were? That will be seen.
See, I think with Marvin Jones, I think he's been a hell of a receiver when someone else has played alongside of him, like a Kenny Galladay.
Yeah.
I think when Kenny Galladay got hurt, obviously Jones got more targets and got more yards. But when you put him with the pressure as being the go-to one receiver, then teams can double up on him. That's not his style.
Yeah.
I think that if he can go and
play
play
with
DJ.
Exactly.
I think if you can go play with DJ Chark and now you have, like you said, the 1A, 1B, that helps both DJ Chark and Marvin Jones. So really this signing, like we talked about when they brought in Shaq Griffin from Seattle, helping out the young guy in C.J. Henderson, to me, this signing also helps DJ Chark because now it takes some pressure off of him as well.
Yeah, that's a good call. And by the way, add a 31-year-old to a room, a young room, and so you get veteran experience in there to hopefully make a difference as well. I mean, this is a 31-year-old guy, so he needs to make an impact this year and next year on this deal. He's not going to be here probably much longer than that. So it'll be interesting to see the impact Marvin Jones makes on that room, on this team. Because I like their wide receiver room. I do.
Yeah.
But, again, you're talking about, do you even need to be that much more dynamic? Because now you have a dynamic quarterback throwing them the football. That's a fair question. Right?
Yep.
Haven't had that around here.
I'm just getting ready for that classic Marvin Jones game where he has like 4 touchdowns in one game. It seems to happen every single year. Where the guy goes off for like 4 touchdowns out of nowhere.
I'll take it.
Fantasy football fans rejoice.
Let's get South Beach Gary in before we take a break here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Your bracket is busted, South Beach Gary.
Hey, guys. No, actually, I didn't play one, but I got to say, Austin, you kind of got what you deserve not picking Wisconsin to win at least one game.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can call it the Isaiah Wilson effect. That's what you get for signing a guy who had a problem when the team didn't wish him happy birthday. What's up, Dolphins?
Touchy, isn't he, Brent?
Touchy? Nah, man. Hey, I just come back, man. Hey, this clapback season up in here. We're all good, though.
Temper. You give yourself an attack of apoplexy there, Austin.
All right. I'm not sure what that word means.
Brent, where would you put, with the passing of Elgin Baylor, where would you rank Elgin Baylor in the legacy? Top 25 in NBA history?
Oh, that's a good call. I was thinking of that when I saw the passing at age 86. Thanks, South Beach Gary. Appreciate it. Listen, he's 86. I don't have that great recollection of that era, but I would probably say, yeah, that's a good, I'd say in the top 25. That's what I was thinking. I was trying to think of how high you could put him when I saw that he passed, and I knew this conversation would come up probably across the country. I don't know if he lives in the top 15. I think what my first thought was he sometimes gets forgotten, Elgin Baylor.
Yeah.
With all the greats. And he is one of the greats. So I'd have to look a deep dive at the numbers to see where he absolutely stacks up, whether that is in that top 15. Does he crack the top 20? But I think top 25 would be a safe bet for sure when it comes to Elgin Baylor, passed at the age of 86. So not better than Larry Bird. Okay, Austin Lane.
Okay.
You can't get that high.
I'm not going to go there today. All right, I'm going to pay the guy his respect. We're not going down that road.
But he's not.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I know a lot more about Larry Bird than I do at Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, again, you're talking about an era of, right next to those great Celtics teams with all those great players.
Yeah.
And I do think some, a guy that's become a good friend here in town and former Celtic great is Sam Jones. And he played in that era, and he is underrated in that era. So you have underrated players that, Sam Jones, the career he had, he was a top 50 Hall of Famer when they did that. But Elgin Baylor had a storied career. Yeah. So I think top 25 probably good. I'd have to go back and look. Like I said, I'm kind of just talking off the cuff here.
Yeah.
But I think that would be fair to put him in the top 25. I'd love to know what others would think of that. I'm going to now go look up a list.
Can you just imagine waking up this morning and saying, I'm going to call ESPN 690 and make fun of Wisconsin to Austin and then not expect me to retaliate with the Isaiah Wilson signing from Miami? You think he gets another shot?
I don't know, man. I feel bad for guys like Isaiah Wilson because I feel like we've seen it before.
Someone's just got to take that guy. But I guess Miami tried to do that. And that's why they let go.
Well, they
of
tried,
him,
and this is a guy in Flores that my guess is when they signed him said, "Hey, I can help this kid."
Yeah, he's come from that Patriot culture.
And they quickly learned that they can't. He doesn't want the help was kind of the phrasing of that.
Yeah.
And so immediately I think of a guy like Justin Blackmon. A guy that's probably super talented, but is in a bad place. Has real issues, and it doesn't look like you're going to be saved. You're going to have a chance to save him, and he's wasting away these years, and hopefully he finds, a good place. But he can't be in a good place for the Dolphins to have signed him and given up on him this quickly. They didn't even see him in the building, I don't think.
Yeah, obviously the guy's got some, I think, deep issues, and those need to get addressed before he plays football again, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But do you think? He's a heck of a talent, Brent.
Big time talent.
The guy got drafted where he got drafted for a reason. Do you think the Jaguars take a look at it? Like,
No.
would you want to? No, you're just going to wash your hands of it.
That's one thing. Like, I thought about that. It's like, okay, well, the Jags, you could get super value. Well, right now, based off what Miami just did, I don't think anybody is.
Yeah.
But I don't think in this regime right now to get off, I don't think they need to be doing that stuff. Sure. See what you got. Get everybody to buy in. And once you feel like people are bought in, then you can take risks on guys like that. But not at the outset of this thing. That's like next year when you feel like you've got established leadership and you feel like you can take somebody on that might have some questions, whether it's Isaiah Wilson or somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not for right now. Not when you're trying to set the tone. You don't set the tone with guys like Isaiah Wilson.
No.
It doesn't appear like in the locker room.
And I don't disagree with you.
All right, we'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. We'll give you an update on the Monday March Madness.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Not too many moves in the free agency for the Jags this weekend, except head coach Urban Meyer questioning the whole process.
I guess the old days you could bring them in and meet them, have dinner with them, and you find out the football intellect, find out the character, find out that. So we had to do, the thing you don't, I found out, is call someone who has a skin in the game, because they're going to not quite be, I don't see honest isn't the appropriate word, but so that was awful. I don't believe it should be that way. Not when you're making organizational decisions. I'm not sure how that rule came about, but to me, that's not good business.
And in March Madness news, the 7-seeded Florida Gators fell to the 15-seed Oral Roberts 78-81. And the 4th-seeded Florida State Seminoles will match up with number 5-seed Colorado Buffaloes tonight at 7:45 on TBS. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it. Because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope, and you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
They just don't make them like they used to. People say that a lot, and sometimes it's true, but not for air conditioners. Manufacturers actually make them better than they used to. It's just that local AC companies don't install them like they ought to. Old school rules of thumb and yesterday's shortcuts simply sabotage new school systems. Can new technology give you more comfort with longer service life? Only if the AC tech knows how to properly engineer it for your home and how to install it right. So techs that don't understand inverters, low voltage controls, and how to configure the software, dip switches, and refrigerant charge for Florida humidity, they'll totally turn it into turd buckets, especially if they just do a swap the box install without fixing your ductwork and airflow. My point, the better the technology, the more important the install. At Griffin Service, we fix what others can't, but it's best to have us install it right from the beginning. So if your new system ain't working right or your old one needs replacing, call
GriffinService.com.
888-1250-697.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the South Side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. Yeah, they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the South Side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish Sass with 5-star class.
Honda of the Avenues is the winner of the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award, and you'll be satisfied too with the great deals happening in their service department. Honda of the Avenues has a 5% discount for seniors all the time and 10% military discounts. Plus, Ladies' Day is every Wednesday in the service department. That includes a free tire rotation with oil change and 5% off any other recommended service. See why so many people are giving Honda of the Avenues 5 stars. Find out more at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
I want a fling, you know? Spice things up.
Whoa, hold on. Marriage takes work.
No, I mean a spicy Bloody Mary mix for the brunch I'm planning. I want to fling into spring a Total Wine with thousands of wine, spirits, and beers to explore. I want to mix up cocktails with tequilas and fruit-flavored vodkas. I want choices. Chardonnays, rosés, Pinots, Proseccos. I want more.
All right, let's go to Total Wine and More.
Wondrous selection, helpful guides, always low prices. Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Max. At a certain point, you know it so well, it's like muscle memory. It's second nature, and you don't have to pay attention to the technique anymore. That's James Harden, the MVP of the league. And by the way, every season, he's among the finalists for MVP.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
It was a no-brainer for me. Once I saw Coach Morrow become the head coach here, had good years with Coach Morrow at Ohio State. And honestly, I've been waiting for Coach Morrow to become a head coach in the NFL. And, he's finally here. So it was a no-brainer for me to come to Jacksonville once I saw he became the head coach here.
No-brainer. Had to play for Coach Meyer. Free agent for the Jaguars. So I'm going Carlos Hyde.
Very good.
Let's go.
See, as first I've heard of that, I slept through the presser today.
Oh, there you go, Brent. You asked some questions today? You've been asking some good questions. You have been. Yeah, whatever, huh?
I just slept through Carlos Hyde's.
Oh, gosh. Are you still, you're still a little bitter, to be honest.
I really don't care.
Are you expecting, do you want me to get
kind of a fun thing.
Do you want me to get an apology?
Nah.
Okay.
I don't really care.
Hey, just give me a little wink if you want me to threaten Carlos Hyde at training camp. Hey, Carlos, we'll talk to you real quick.
I don't even really.
I think you owe Brent an apology.
I don't
over
remember even interviewing Carlos too many times in the locker room. I remember like maybe a time or two. I think he was over near Calais' locker and Fournette's locker, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Gosh, I've been in a locker room in forever.
What's a locker room, Brent? That's where we're at right now.
I don't know if we'll see him
You
again.
think we're going to go in this year? I'm not, but you.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I do think so. We'll find out. Hey, is there anything like the NCAA tournament in terms of unpredictability? Like I would say, I actually thought of. I thought not wrestling.
No, college. Hey, man.
Oh,
college wrestling.
Well, I was actually thinking your sport.
Oh, MMA. Yeah, that too.
There's a level of unpredictability there, right? The favorites don't always win.
No, for sure. You're absolutely right. I was trying to say college wrestling before you bit my head off. And I think college wrestling deserves that too. You didn't watch any of it, and that's fine.
I did.
I
like that you watch that though. You're locked in.
I'm so locked. I'd probably watch more of that than the basketball just because my bracket was shot. But you have guys like Shane. You know Shane Griffith is? Probably not. Shane Griffith. You want to talk about the best story in sports over the weekend? With all due respect to Oral Roberts, Shane Griffith was a wrestler at Stanford. Well, Stanford canceled their wrestling program, right? And even though they raised, I think it was $12 million, like the booster clubs raised $12 million for the Stanford wrestling program.
Wow.
But they said no. And that, on average, it costs like $800,000 a year to run the wrestling program. But Stanford didn't want to go through that because Title IX and all that stuff. So they said no more wrestling program. So Shane Griffith goes to the tournament as an 8 seed, beats the 1 seed in the semifinals, goes to the finals and wins it. And by the way, the singlet that they wear?
Yeah.
It was black because he wasn't going to represent Stanford because they didn't have his back.
So
he's wrestling for himself.
And
he won it.
That's good that you can wrestle independent like that.
Yeah, and he won a championship.
I would say this all the time about. There's 2 things I say about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking like high school, college wrestling.
Sure.
Hardest sport to train for.
Yes.
bar none. I would actually put swimming next, and I'm not going to lie. I'm telling you. Go ahead, do it. You couldn't do it.
I don't like to swim.
I know.
mean,
I'm just
that's
telling
a
you. It's
problem.
hard. It's that hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But I put swimming. I put wrestling first.
Okay. Thank you.
And also, the most underrated atmosphere you could go to as an event. You go to a high school gym or a college gym in a wrestling meet.
Yeah.
And the place is electric.
Of course.
It's electric.
Yes.
And people don't even know what the hell's going on half the time, but it's electric.
Yeah.
Like it really, like you just go to one. It's really a lot of fun.
We got our college wrestling in for the day.
Yeah, more on the unpredictability of sport. Is March Madness the one? Or is there other things? That's coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome to Moe's, and good morning at Moe's. In St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1, it's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Try it. You'll love it. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. They put the fast in breakfast. Made to order in the drive-thru. Try the Home Wrecker breakfast burrito. Your choice of bacon, chicken, or steak with scrambled eggs, shredded cheese, and seasoned potatoes. Served daily at 6 a.m. St. Augustine location only. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair. All one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees, too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
CGC Water has been telling you if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Still not a believer? Well, you can believe me. My family has been a happy CGC Water customer for 4 years now. Customer service is tremendous. We got our water tested. We were told about our options in financing in detail. No pressure, just information. Installation was quick, and the CGC team was there every step of the way. And we absolutely love it because it works. Heck, I even think my coffee tastes better because of it. And I love my coffee. A Kinetico system from CGC Water removes up to 99% of contaminants. That's clean. Schedule your free water test today and ask how you can save up to $500. CGC is still taking extra precautions with in-home visits and continuing to follow CDC guidelines. Financing available with approved credit. Call 904-552-1242 for details or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Is your home not feeling very new anymore? Sick of that pink bathroom tile, popcorn ceilings, a stove older than you are? Whether it's repairs or reno, finance it smart with a Honeydew HELOC from 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, where you can borrow up to 90% of your home's appraised value. You've got good taste, but your block counters ain't cheap. So get to work and open a Honeydew HELOC with 1-to-1 Financial. When you do, we'll send you a free handyman tool set to get started. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Voted best wings in St. Augustine as well. Visit williejewels.com and visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes at Willie Jewell's.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course, we have everything you need for that big brake job. Right now, you can save 15% when you buy any Duralast brake pads and any 2 Duralast rotors. It's a great way to save while you take on the full job. Oh, and one tip. Go for a nice, easy drive after you finish the job. It'll help break in your new brakes. For more tips, visit AutoZone.com/DIY. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Lakers franchise, he also spent over 2 decades in the Clippers front office. With LeBron James sidelined indefinitely because of a high ankle sprain and Anthony Davis still sidelined by injury, the Lakers are in for a tough time in their absence. Right now, the 1 seed is not their biggest concern, and it's not the most important one in the West. It's the 6th seed, explains ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
Because the 6th seed is where you are when you avoid the play-in tournament. And that is where everybody is going to want to be, including the Lakers. If they fall that far back, they would have to be in the play-in tournament, which means they would not possibly play the number 1 or number 2 seed in the first round.
Utah currently leads the West by 2 on the Suns and 3 on the Lakers. Nets guard Kyrie Irving will miss the next 3 games while he attends to a family matter. NCAA tournament second round, top overall seed Gonzaga leading Oklahoma 55-39, 15 minutes left, second half. Oregon got it done against Iowa 95-80. Luka Garza in the loss had 36 points.
Download the DraftKings app and use code CJR to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
Yes, I have versatility. So just kind of getting with coach and just trying to see what's the best suitable to help on defense as well. But just being able to have versatility is always a plus.
You know that one?
Yeah.
Probably. Wait. See, it's not fair because you were at the
No,
press
it wasn't.
conference.
I didn't do it.
So how do you know that? How can you tell who that is through that little soundbite?
I see deduction.
Okay.
He said something about defense, but he also says versatility. My guess is it's Rudy Ford, special teams guy.
See, I would say it's Brown, Malcolm Brown from the Saints.
Oh, okay.
Brent's right.
Yeah, because Brent was there. Like it's not.
I
It's
was
not
there today.
It's not a fair game when he can get all the transcripts.
I was getting my haircut.
You saw the transcript.
I haven't even looked at that yet.
This game is trash. It's a trash game. I don't like playing
You're a
it.
sore loser.
You better. What, you want me to be a good loser? Did you want me to be satisfied with losing? Because I'm not. Speaking of, hey, by the way, congratulations for being a meme on Twitter.
I know. How about that?
We were,
Hey.
by the way, I didn't bring that up, by the way. We were in Tampa when the first time I saw that meme thing going around.
Yeah.
And we were dying laughing.
A better co-host would have had your back.
I was going to say,
just
yeah, thanks for selling me out.
Hey, do you want me to increase the brand or not?
Yeah,
That's how I go about things.
Honestly, are we getting a logo change, by the way, is what I want to know.
I mean, man,
we got a couple options,
logo.
it looks like.
Yeah, you do have a couple options.
Hey, by the way, whatever's on social media that grab our graphic, can you use the updated one? It's the white Action Sports Jacks logo now, okay?
Brent, come on, man.
Well, that
People
might
don't know that.
The podcast might be different because
I don't know if we ever updated that one, yeah.
Oh, wow, how professional of us.
No. I think it's updated, but iTunes doesn't pull the new photo, so it's still the old one on iTunes.
I got you. That's probably lives out there.
Man, you want to talk about just an exciting season coming up, though? Like, I mean, we got Trevor Lawrence. Like, I'm not sure if you've noticed either, but you're a meme in more than one way. Because, like, there's the cowboy hat version of you, and they're everywhere. I love them.
I feel like I finally have made it.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have your own hat yet, but you're getting there.
I know, but I mean...
Yeah. I mean, do you have your own hat yet?
Not really. Okay. Unless you call it Dream 18, my own hat.
Does it say your name on it?
I mean, we have a hat together.
together, but I'm saying from the Brett Martineau brand.
No.
Okay.
Now I might have a new brand.
I almost want to get an emoji sticker and put it on the hat.
I would. I would take it to the next fair and have him like what do you call it? The
spray it on?
Yeah, spray it on.
Yeah, what is that called? That's tie dye.
I wanted to say
What is
Cool. You go to like the flea
it's not
market.
spray paint. Yeah,
or the
exactly.
fair.
Yeah, and like usually put on like your cheek, like you get like a face paint.
Maybe I'll put it on my cheek.
Oh no!
Stop!
Hey,
Stop.
by the way,
what?
If we ever get to number 1 in the ratings,
that's the tattoo.
That's the tattoo.
Stop, Brent. Brent, come on, man. Seriously?
Why not?
You're gonna get that emoji. What happened to the ESPN 690 tattoo?
Well, I mean,
Can it? Wait. Can it be that with that emoji right below it?
No, here's what you do. You get the ESPN and on the 690 underneath, and the 0 can be that face.
There we go.
Oh, I like
Very
it.
good.
It sells itself, everybody.
It does.
That's a win-win.
You know, people are out there like, what are you talking about? Well, there was an emoji conversation the other day.
Friday, yes.
When asked about the grades of free agency.
Correct.
And I didn't know what the emoji meant.
You didn't know what the cool kids are doing these days,
I
Brent.
saw the emoji, but I just didn't backtrack it to the origin.
Sure.
And
don't worry, you're the
then
only
you
one.
sold me out.
How did I sell you out?
Well, because you put it back out there.
Brent, I
in
post
Twitter
clips
sphere.
from the show. That's what I do to help the brand.
Yes.
It was a funny clip. It was a relatable clip, and everybody had a good time with it.
And they certainly did.
At your
And so
expense.
Now my face is the emoji.
Yes.
In several memes.
And several memes.
But I got to be honest with you. I saw it, and I don't even know if I've seen all of them.
I don't think you have.
I saw a couple of them, and I was like, that's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
kind of
good.
like it.
Yeah,
And
it's
I don't
good.
know if I should be celebrating this or
I
be
would.
mad at it.
I mean, listen.
But I kind of like it.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if that's what you're known for, there's worse things to be known for in the
true.
media than that guy.
That's true.
I didn't mean. I'm not
You're
even.
the- you're
I'm not
the-
even
you're the
firing
emoji
shots.
guy.
I'm just saying.
You're the emoji guy.
Was I
the
firing
emoji
shots
guy.
or not? I wasn't firing
Yeah,
shots.
I think he was
I wasn't
originally.
firing shots.
But anyway.
No.
Did he stay later to clip it here at the building because he has better Wi-Fi?
Yes, he did. Was he here until 2 a.m.?
All right, Brent, we'll see you later. All right, back to editing. All right, editing this. There we go.
All right. Well, appreciate the memes, everybody.
Keep them coming if you got them.
Yeah.
I mean, let's focus on the mock drafts, but also that if you want to get a little bonus T-shirt, possibly.
Shock Your Mock, by the way, debut 2021 coming up.
Yeah, a lot of time and effort spent on this, Brent.
Of course. I mean, I had T-shirts made for this.
You had T-shirts. I made the song. And by the way, remember how I said, I think it was on Friday, what I'm going to do for the weekend, and I said I'm going to watch a lot of college basketball, much to the chagrin of my wife,
Yes.
who, no. So I stopped watching college basketball after the Illinois game because my bracket was busted. So we're having a nice family time, sitting on the couch. She's reading her new Stephen King book, which I guess is great. I don't know what it's called, but it's great. And meanwhile, it might be It 4 for all, I don't know. Hey, reading books, especially Stephen King books that are like thick.
God bless you.
Thick.
No wonder why she's in med school.
That's
I mean,
what I'm
she's
saying.
a little different than us.
I mean, don't treat enough in college, but it is what it is. Anyways, so creating this song, Brent, it took me a good hour and a half to create this song, and it's all my vocals as well. You better believe that I thought it was going to be World War III at the Lane residence because, I mean, you thought it was bad watching college basketball in the background. Imagine me screaming at the top of my lungs trying to sound like the guy from AC/DC.
Well, now my question is, did you scream at the top of your lungs every single time, or did you do it once and then just reused it?
Looped it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I was wondering.
it's looped.
All right, I
It's
can't
looped.
wait. I've not
Yeah.
heard this.
Yeah.
Not even sure if we're allowed to put it on air, but we will
No,
around
it
4:30.
passes because I made all the beats. I made because Kuz is worried about that. You know,
well, because
Kuz
I didn't
being
know
the
where you got the
producer.
music from, so I was like,
Yeah, we have.
But
we
this is how
have to
good
pick
that it
certain
is.
Music.
And I'm talking this up big time right now. I don't care. But Kuz even said, like, hey, we can't play this track because I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, don't worry, man. I designed the music myself.
This is
from
original.
scratch.
This is an Austin Lane original.
This is an Austin Lane joint, everybody. You know, like Spike Lee.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
okay.
The Shock Your Mock is coming up. Hashtag Shock Your Mock will be the easiest way to find it.
Yes.
Some people have said Shock the Mock.
Yeah.
Some people have said Shock my Mock. Austin Lane.
Yeah, and some co-host
We'll
said,
figure it
just
out.
send us your mock. And I meant your Jaguars mock draft, not like an actual mock draft of the
Yeah.
first 32 teams.
So
Sorry.
anyway, it's the Jaguars mock draft, and we'll do one a day probably leading up to the draft. And a segment that debuted last year, that too was an Austin Lane joint. And
like
now it's
that.
got music, T-shirts, and more.
Yes.
Coming up today in about 15 minutes. Just real, am I missing anything from the unpredictability
realm in sports. Again, I
Yeah.
think MMA you could actually fit in here.
You could.
And I know you said wrestling. I'm talking like, I guess I'm thinking mainstream events like the World Series. There's always a big favorite. I mean,
Yeah.
Major League Baseball in general, you could probably name the 4 teams that are most likely going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
NBA is very much like that. Even the NFL, who I think has made its name on unpredictability and parity, I still think now, like, Tampa Bay, not a surprise, are in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, Kansas City, not a surprise. There's still this chunk of teams that probably is going to go very. I mean, the Jags in 17, even the Jags were not like this crazy underdog. People saw that they had a pretty talented team.
Yeah.
Now, to make it to the AFC Championship game, yeah, I think that was a little bit of an underdog. But you don't really have too many Cinderellas in the NFL making a run.
College
March
football,
Madness,
no.
and listen, you have to keep this in context. March Madness has Cinderellas make it far, but not very often do Cinderellas win the whole thing. I think it was Kentucky as a 7 seed won in the last decade, but it was still freaking Kentucky, So 7 seed or not, it didn't feel anything crazy.
What was Butler when they went to the final a couple times? I mean, they didn't win it, but they were still.
They might have been like an 8. I don't feel like they were like a 12 or anything.
Okay.
The George Masons of the world.
I mean, they still went to the
Loyolas of the world,
Well, yeah,
made it
Butler went to the
Final Four.
championship, which
And
is
it's far. It's almost like it still works for this topic, and it's really the reason why I think this is the most unpredictable event that we have in sports. You can't go chalk. You're going to get bit if you go chalk.
Yeah.
1 seed's already out. Houston was on the ropes. Iowa 2 seed out. Ohio State 2 seed out. Gonzaga, by the way, is winning right now and winning pretty handily at last check in the second half. And they might win the whole thing, and we might look at this NCAA tournament and say, hey, wow, we had a ton of upsets, but still the number 1 team won it.
Yeah.
I mean, you really might get that.
Yeah.
But it just makes it that unpredictable. I don't think anybody would put their house on Gonzaga winning right now the way they've seen this tournament go the last few days.
No. Absolutely not. To answer the question, by the way, too, back in 2010, Butler was a 5 seed.
So they were already up to
when
5.
they played Duke. Yeah. So
the thing about the NCAA tournament, once you have teams that have showed success, they often get the benefit of the doubt on seeding.
True.
So Butler may have started their run and they were like an 11 seed and a 12 seed and they upset people. Well, but the next tournament they're like a 9 seed and then they're a 7 seed and then all the way in that tournament they're a 5 seed. So it feels like little Butler, but Butler's a 5 seed. I mean, look at the 5 seeds in the tournament. Those aren't little basketball schools.
You're true. Yeah, true. Very true. But no, to answer the question, I think nothing beats basketball, college basketball. I think that's the most. What was even the question there? You asked
unpredictable.
Yeah, so I would say that, and then number 2, I would probably say college wrestling. But once again, it's not that household sport, so people may not get it. But I say college wrestling number 2.
Hey, quick thought: did you watch the Gator game at all?
I did.
Obviously, Gator fans are up in arms. This is a bad day for the Gator fans. 1, because they had a lead, blew the lead. Their offense really struggled down the stretch.
Yeah.
But 2, when you see you beat a team in a tough game, an overtime game, and your team is just okay. Like, your team's not great. Listen, Florida's not great.
Yeah.
And without Keontae Johnson and everything they've been through, they're almost a nice story right now to have advanced to the round of 32 and beat Virginia Tech. But then they get a 15 seed. And you're like, oh, what a break. I mean, you should beat them. And it should. Florida should beat them on paper. But they didn't. And so now it's like ultimate disappointment. Mike White's had a lot of people that haven't liked the job he's done for a long time in Gainesville or Gator fans. I happen to be a Mike White fan. It's funny. It seems like a lot of the media is. Okay. If you look at the Gator media around, too, it feels like they defend him quite a bit. But I mean, I think he is a pretty good coach. I think the numbers are very similar. Gene Fournette did a comparison today to Billy Donovan in his first 6 years or whatever it was, and they're very comparable. Very comparable. Go look at that tweet by Gene, and you'll see. I mean, way more comparable than you would have ever imagined. Billy D lost some big leads in the NCAA tournament at times and got bounced. Last night, it's an interesting debate. I think they're a team that is either on or off, and you never know which team's going to show up in Florida. And I would say that's my biggest criticism of Mike White so far, is he has too many times in games where they go 6-7 minutes without scoring. Yeah. If you look at his tenure at Florida, they go on these droughts. Now, a lot of people in college basketball do, but Florida goes on way too many offensive droughts and cannot get out of it. They scored 2 field goals in the final 10 minutes when they led by 11 points. Really inexcusable loss.
Yeah. We echoed on this a little bit. I want to bring it back up. Like, to me, Florida was never going to go far in the tournament because we know who they are. They had 19 turnovers against Oral Roberts. All right. Anytime that you have 19 turnovers in a game, you probably aren't going to win it. I don't care who you're playing against. And that's who Florida is. They're an undisciplined team. And it's like the way basketball works is sometimes you just have an off night, right? Sometimes you have an off night where guys aren't in the game, turnovers, whatever, and it doesn't look good. It's not a good brand of basketball. But we've seen this from Florida all season. So if I see it all season, you guys are playing undisciplined, well, then you're an undisciplined team. And we saw that here. Simple as that. Like, you can try to mask as much as you want, but eventually, especially in the tournament, you're going to show who you truly are. And Florida did.
Yeah, and that has been a problem. Again, I think they have had droughts. I think turnovers have been a problem. People want to blame this on the offense. I initially wanted to put it on the defense, and I still do want to put it on the defense a little bit. I understand Oral Roberts can shoot the 3, but they're all Oral Roberts, and you're in the SEC, and they scored 81 on you. And if you give up 81 points, guess what you're doing? 9 out of 10 times. Losing.
Yes.
So, you can tell me all you want. They scored 78 points despite only scoring twice in the final 9 or 2 field goals in the final 9 minutes. Florida still scored 78 points. It's hard for me to put that on the offense, even though I understand the flow of the game and the way it went and all the turnovers. But they shot at such a good clip, like upper 50%, that actually offset some of the turnovers, believe it or not, because they shot it so well. So I still think, like I did ran the numbers after, and I think including today, if you score 75 points or more, you're 22-3 in the tournament. 22-3. Eastern Washington gave up a bundle. Iowa gave up a bundle today and still scored over 75. And Florida's the other team. They scored 78 but gave up 81. So if you can score 75 points, you win.
Yeah.
It's almost automatic.
Sure.
Florida scored 78 and still lost. What does that tell me? That's more on the defense if you look at the 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But I understand where the drought came into play and why that continues to be a problem. And they milked the clock a little bit and they slowed things down. And, the talk after the game was, well, they slowed the game down a little bit on offense because they wanted to keep their energy on the defensive end. Well, where was the energy then? Because you still gave up 81. They showed a 1-3-1 defense, which creates holes in the corners for a 3-point shooting team. And on one of the biggest possessions, they did it. Boom, 3-pointer goes down, and now it's a tight game again. So I think you can question a lot of things. I still believe if you look at the totality of the Gators program with Mike White, he gets them to the NCAA tournament. He wins the first round. He's gone deep one time. I still like him as the head coach. I think Gator fan gets a little bit out of whack with the Billy Donovan era and what he was able to do. And I would stick with Mike White right now. I think there's a lot of people that would like to see a change, but the grass ain't always greener, folks.
No, it's not. But once again, I just echo when you have 19 turnovers, you're not going to win a lot. And that speaks to being undisciplined, and being undisciplined falls on coaching. But you know how adamant I am about that in terms of penalties in the NFL. I think if a team is penalized, unless you're like the Kansas City Chiefs who can overcome with a high-powered offense, that's going to cost you. I was evident about that 2 years ago when I watched I think it was the Jaguars-Ravens. No, the Jaguars-Ravens preseason game, where I'm like, the penalties in the preseason, you better get rid of those. Well, they didn't. They had a horrible year. Same thing in basketball. If you can't fix the turnovers, you're not going to go far, and that falls on coaching. So I get what you're saying. I think it's an unfair comparison to Billy Donovan, obviously, because there's a reason why they call it Billy Donovan Court in Gainesville, right? I mean, the guy's a legend.
He won big.
He did, but he also had the talent, though, as well.
Yeah,
Brent.
he got it, but he shaped it. I mean, he created the program. The bottom line is, if you look at the wins and losses, if you look at some of the NCAA wins and losses, it's not that far from what Billy D did in the early years before he won big. Does that mean Mike White could be on the verge of winning big? I don't know. You talk about scoring droughts. I mentioned that. Scotty Lewis last night, who's one of their heralded players, and really hadn't lived up to it overall. 19 minutes. 0 points. 0 points in 19 minutes. I mean, how does a guy go and put up a goose egg with that kind of talent? How does he get those guys to be consistent? I think the biggest criticism of Mike White you can make is the inconsistency. And I think if you look at the Gators, and I said, Ty's a Gator fan, and I said to him yesterday, I said, Ty, I don't trust Florida because I have no idea what team's going to show up. When they show up and they're good, they're pretty good. But they could also lay a stinker and lose to just about anybody. I mean, you just don't know what team is going to show up, and that's a problem. Like, I would scratch my head. If I'm Mike White, I'm looking at why. If I'm Scott Strickland, I'm asking why.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what I'm getting, and I think when you're a player, I think coaches want to know what they're getting in you as a player. Well, if I'm looking at their team, I want to know what I'm getting as a fan or as an administrator with the Florida Gators basketball team, and I really don't have an answer for you because I think it changes a lot.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, week in, week out. And really the last couple of weeks were kind of the epitome of that. They lost like 3 out of 4 going into the tournament, and they looked good for about the first 70 minutes of the tournament. Mm-hmm. And then the last 10 minutes, it didn't look good. So I think they keep Mike White. I don't think they're making a move there. So sorry, Mike White haters. It's just not going to happen. And I think one of the big reasons why is who are you going to get? I mean, look at these programs that have tried to get people. Mike White is not a bad coach. Mike White has to now take the next step with the program. That is a fair criticism, but he's not a bad coach.
See, I just think it's very telling, though, when you're Florida State right now and you're talking about this up-and-coming year, maybe having one of the best recruiting classes in all the country, and you're playing your Florida State brand of basketball, where it's not like you're one and done. I mean, you have to earn your playing time, and if you're Florida right now, you're losing to Florida State. In the recruiting battle. And that is true. And that's very telling.
And on the court.
Well, obviously on the court as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's very telling when Florida State's up there right now in Florida. I'm not sure if they really are.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, even in the SEC, Alabama, where have they now? Why have they risen to the top? Kentucky's down. Yet why isn't Florida now the top team in the SEC? Fair question. Yeah. Do you like Florida State tonight?
I do.
Over Colorado.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Florida State. I like them against Colorado. Yes.
Colorado's tricky now. They looked really good.
Yes.
And I have no idea about Colorado basketball.
Came out shooting lights out. Colorado did, I'm saying.
You almost wonder if that was like too good of a performance.
Yeah, those can happen. And I forgot the guy's name, but they have like one stud who might go to the NBA. I forgot the guy's name.
There's a lot of good players that are on teams just like that, right? That you didn't even know they were on those teams.
And then there's good players who just got bounced like Luke Garza from Iowa.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
By the way, Gonzaga is winning by a dozen with 7 minutes to go. They can score the basketball. They've got 71 points with 7 minutes to play. They put up about 100 the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, they can absolutely score. Their offense is incredible. Make sure you listen to the Florida State Seminoles, by the way, who also have a good offense tonight on ESPN 690, 7 o'clock tip-off time in the second round of the NCAA tournament. We'll be back. Shock Your Mock season is here on ESPN 690. We're doing it. And Austin Lane joint next.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Early showers today, then mostly cloudy skies this afternoon with breezy winds, temperatures into the mid-60s. Then we'll drop down into the mid-50s tonight under mostly cloudy skies and breezy winds. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Alyssa Pedjig.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talon Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talon Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000. Or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
I should have my kid tell you about Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. It's Ty's favorite burger in town. Make it one of your favorites as well. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food has 3 locations now, Atlantic Beach, Mandarin, and downtown Jacksonville. Change your life burgers. But they have salads, pizza, and much more on the menu, too. Let Jumpin' Jack's House of Food be your great neighbor. Lunch or dinner with the family, or they will cater parties from 200 to 500 people. Jumpin' Jack's, HOF.com for online ordering. Jumpin' Jack's House of Food, open 7 days a week. No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
There is a taste of the islands in every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, imported directly from Tequila, Mexico to Jacksonville Beach. Vida de Luis is the only locally owned tequila in Jax Beach. Support local and try Vida de Luis. Award-winning, smooth, all natural, no aldehydes or additives, which means wake up feeling good the next morning. Find out where you can pick up a bottle of Vida de Luis, Blanco, Reposado, or Añejo. Just visit VitaDeLuis.com. Support local and taste the islands in every drop.
Transmission problems? Call Action Transmission Specialists on Merrill Road, where you get the work done right the first time by the experts. I'm Robin Sidbury, the owner. Our techs can service all makes and models, and we provide a nationwide warranty, so you have the peace of mind knowing we solve your transmission troubles fairly and honestly and guaranteed nationwide. Call us at Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road, where quality counts. Get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and make it your home course as well. The golf club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210. It's family-owned and operated. Southampton is a fun course to play, and the golf club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facilities and player-friendly golf course design, it'll be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. For information on the membership programs, call the golf club at Southampton, 904-287-PLAY. Again, it's 904-287-PLAY.
Honda of the Avenues is the winner of the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award, and you'll be satisfied too with the great deals happening in their service department. Honda of the Avenues has a 5% discount for seniors all the time and 10% military discounts. Plus, Ladies' Day is every Wednesday in the service department. That includes a free tire rotation with oil change and 5% off any other recommended service. See why so many people are giving Honda of the Avenues 5 stars. Find out more at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
It's a way to support local businesses and to support local golf courses. And you get free stuff and discounted golf. It's the Dream 18 card. Available now at ActionSportsJaxDream18.com. Discounted golf at some of the best courses in the area, like Southampton, Osprey Cove, and Eagle Landing. And you heard free. How about a free smoothie from Smoothie King, a free shirt from Baker Sports, and a free hat from Dome Hats, plus other local business discounts. Support local while saving hundreds of dollars of golf for yourself. It's the Dream 18 card. Available now only at ActionSportsJaxDream18.com.
I'm Glenn Levine, a board-certified civil trial lawyer. That means the Florida bars recognize me as an expert in the field of civil trial. As a trial lawyer, I'm trained to investigate every aspect of your case. If you've been involved in a legal dispute and are not sure of your options, call me, Glenn Levine, at the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000 for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Office in Jacksonville.
This message is sponsored by the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station. My name is Deborah. I serve as a district manager for the Florida Long-Term Care Ombudsman Program. I am passionate about helping others and advocating to protect the quality of life and the rights for those who many times cannot help themselves. You can make a difference in someone's life today. Visit us at ombudsman.myflorida.com to learn more.
The Max Kellerman Show.
The Nets started out the season without James Harden, who's their second best player, and then have played recently without Kevin Durant, who's their best player. Also, when Kyrie joined the team, he and Harden had to figure things out. There was an adjustment period. And so the Nets' record does not reflect, their entire record does not reflect the team they've become.
The Max Kellerman Show, weekdays at 2 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Watch exclusively on ESPN+.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Welcome into the show, a name you know. If you've been listening and watching ESPN for a long time, I know you know him. We're going to call him one of the forefathers, if you will, of sports radio, Mike Greenberg.
Thank you. Forefathers is an interesting, that's fascinating. Every day, as I talk to more people, I get older and older. So that's kind of funny.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
Austin Lane.
The Rock, out of nowhere, buys the XFL during a pandemic, mind you, goes half in with his ex-wife. So now you're going to business with your ex-wife.
Brent Martineau.
I don't know if that's on the business advice list.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I think the Jaguars are getting a hard worker, first and foremost, somebody that's going to come in here and put his head down and work and try to get better every single day. And I think that mindset has been had by me since I started this journey, and I don't plan on changing that.
It's not Carlos Hyde.
I mean, you already know who it is, so stop slow playing it. Oh, and the Oscar goes too.
It's not Rudy.
You know who it is.
Trying to think of who else. Jamal Agnew talked today. Marvin Jones talked today.
See?
I haven't named him yet, have I?
I'm gonna say Adam Thielen, because sometimes Kuz throws an Adam Thielen in there when you least expect it. And this feels like one of those times, Kuz. Give me Adam Thielen for 500.
Jamal Agnew.
Both are wrong. Manhurts.
I thought I heard something out there. It was Chris. I forgot Chris Manhurts.
Missed it by that much. Thought I had Thielen for sure.
Hey, Shock Your Mock is here in a moment.
Oh, man.
But first, react to this. 4-4-6.
Who's that? Who's that? The fastest man in the world? 4-4-6. That's speed. Who is it, Brent?
Kyle Pitts.
Hey, I'm going to pass out. I'm going to pass out from all the... Because he's got the intangibles. 4-4-6? Hey, go ahead and put a couple of those faces out there, everybody. 4-4-6 is fast. You surprised?
I just threw you into a trade so we can move up to get Kyle
You threw me into a trade?
Yeah, sorry.
Where am I going to go?
I have no idea.
What are you trading me to?
Open-ended.
Hey, all right then. If that's what you want to play.
I have no idea
Brent.
the taxes.
Do you know the endorsement deals? Yeah, you don't.
4-4-6, 40. How freaky is that?
Pretty good. Now, okay, let's come back down to reality real quick. It was at the pro day, obviously, right? It wasn't like a combine, like a Florida combine.
It was actually, I think, put out by his wherever he's working out.
Yeah.
And he did not. The pro day for Florida is on the 31st.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to that or not,
Okay.
or if this is kind of his thing.
Obviously, these things are set up for, I've talked about this before, for the athletes to put up big-time numbers, right? Yeah. And a 4-4 is a big-time number. But I just think, like, if you watch the film on him, Brent, and you know I have, that number seems about right. I'll be honest. I think if he goes to the combine and he runs it electronically timed with all that stuff, I think he runs that kind of the same thing.
He's not a freaky fast-looking guy, though. He's just such a long strider that he covers so much ground. Like, it doesn't look explosive in that sense, right?
By the way, Kelvin Johnson is what's up, too.
Oh, no. I'm just saying from the eye test, like, some guys look really fast, like look twitchy and all that. Like, he covers so much ground, and it's almost deceptive, which is almost a better weapon to have. Yeah. Because guys put you to sleep that way.
Sure.
And you're like, wow, I didn't know he was this fast. Right?
It's very deceiving. You know, it's almost like a gazelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Florida State had their pro day today. Asante Samuel, 4-4-4 in the back end as a corner. I think there's going to be a ton of value in the Florida State guys. Samuel could be one. We'll see where he goes.
It's not like it matters, but do you know what Marvin Wilson did?
I didn't see yet what he did.
Okay.
I just think he's going to be a great value pick for somebody. I think he's going to be a good NFL player, but his stock slipped so much from last year to this year on the field. Mm-hmm. And Tamari and Terry, too, I think could be a great value pick. Could become a great NFL, a very good NFL receiver. Mm-hmm. And depending on where you get him, I think the value of those guys could be absolutely off the charts. So 4-4-6 for Kyle Pitts. That's kind of the thing floating around.
Like that.
It really does. Would anything, I don't know if this makes the most sense in the world, but would anything be more exciting in Jaguars draft history to get Trevor Lawrence and then trade up to like number 8 and get Kyle Pitts.
I'm going to say this right now, everybody, and obviously it is Shock Your Mock season now. # Shock Your Mock. Is that what we decided?
Shock Your
my
Mock.
mock?
Nope, Shock Your Mock.
Okay, Shock Your Mock season.
Well, I made a T-shirt that says Shock Your Mock. So
okay, so
I
Shock
hope that's correct.
We're not changing it now?
No. I mean, these weren't free. All right.
No, Brent had to invest in those, all right? Hopefully he makes his money back. Okay, so I got it. If you choose to trade away, let's say, I don't know, Brent, I mean, a second-round pick, a third-round pick, maybe 2/3, I don't care. If somebody can somehow, and I don't want, like, just Photoshop it in there, but if you can trade for Kyle Pitts in your mock draft and get him in the top 10 with the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm not saying you're going to win Shock Your Mock, but it's not going to hurt.
All right. It is time for the debut 2021 Shock Your Mock. I can't wait for this Austin Lane joint put together over the weekend. Here we go.
He is none other than the Shock Master!
Gonna shock your mock! We're gonna shock your mock!
Brutality, don't you think?
Shocking. Gonna shock your mock! We're gonna shock your mock!
Shocking upset.
I feel shocked. Shock your mock! We're gonna shock your mock!
I am shocked. I am shocked. That's what I mean. I am.
There you go, Brent.
Here we go. I wish you didn't tell me that was you.
Just let it, I know, right? I kind of lost my voice from that. You're welcome, by the way. It's sacrifices we got to
What
make.
was harder to do, that or Kirkshin?
Oh, this by far.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm in the apartment complex.
Kirkshin sounds painful.
No, this one was rough because I had my wife mean mugging me the whole time too when she's trying to read, so that didn't help anything. Real quick, a little bonus point for you, Brent. Can you name any of those shows or movies that those quotes were from?
I'll have to listen to it.
Okay,
a few
listen
more
again.
times.
Okay, that's fine.
I was
Okay.
more locked in on your voice.
I got you,
but
as you should be.
Keep that open-ended
It's
for the rest
open-ended.
of the week or month.
Hey, sir, it's open-ended. All right, Kuz, we got the mock draft up there for the first round, the first victim, if you will. Someone's got to be the first one to jump in the pool. Welcome, Brent. We got the name here?
Yeah.
All right, who do we got?
BCB Ben.
All right, welcome, BCB Ben. Hopefully you got your water floaties on. Hopefully you got a wetsuit because it's going to be chilly. It's chilly in this pool.
Wow, Kuz, look at that, man. You made a whole graphic.
I'm still waiting here. Apparently
I love
my
when I'm
Wi-Fi.
surprised.
I mean, apparently well, can I see the graphic? Because I can't. My computer's not working
Look
right
at
now.
that.
Of course. Oh, Kuz. You crushed that,
I see,
man.
we got
Nicely
guys working
done.
here now.
Nicely done. All right, well, okay, here we go. I assume the number one pick is going to be Trevor Lawrence, as he says right here. I mean, A+, Brent? A+, we cool with that?
Yes.
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence, yes. I mean, you got any more brain
I
busters?
thought you weren't even looking at a mock draft that didn't have Trevor Lawrence number one.
I haven't heard it yet. We shall see. 25, though. All right, 25, Gregory Rousseau. Now, if he's there at 25, I mean, I'm not sure what website he did this mock draft off. I'll be honest with you. This website kind of sucks a little bit because he's got Christian Barmore going number 33. Still, I don't think he's going to fall that deep. But with that being said, Gregory Rousseau. Now, I like him, Brent. He's an edge guy. He's young. He's raw. He's athletic. But let's be honest here. You're talking about a guy who had his hand in the dirt pretty much the entire time. And now you're going to expect him to play a 3-4 outside linebacker when he's never played up before. And once again, he's raw. He's got about a year of starting experience. To me, that's a luxury pick taking Rousseau right now. Can we afford luxury picks right now?
Well, you can't, but it is one thing that hasn't been addressed in free agency is that edge.
Sure.
So
then address the edge with a 3-4 outside linebacker, huh?
So you think that you could be getting away from...
Is this you, BC Ben?
No. You
okay. Because you're... Okay.
No, I'm just saying, what you're saying is you could be getting away from fit. And that's the problem this team got into the last couple of years when they were drafting 3-4 guys playing in a 4-3 scheme.
Yep, so here's what we're getting
Fair
at.
criticism.
To me, it's a luxury pick. I mean,
what the hell are you thinking, BC Ben?
I mean...
Ben.
I watched Gregory Rousseau play like a 3 technique. Now, if you want to bring him in and make him a 3 technique eventually, then maybe. But why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? So essentially what we're talking, right? And listen, BCB Ben, off to a great start. Trevor Lawrence, obviously that was a softball for you. You hit it out of the park. Thank you for doing that. But then we get in the second pick of the first round, and I'm already picking you apart, sir. Okay? We're not going to bring in a defensive end to play outside linebacker and try to replace an outside linebacker who played defensive end last year. Do you see the mental gymnastics in that?
Yeah, confusing the hell out of me.
Okay. With that being said, I don't like it. Christian Barmore, if he's there at 33, why not?
Yeah.
You know, if he's there at 33, why not? But I'm not sure he's going to be there at 33.
How much do we have to in Jacksonville look at that line still with young players, even though they remade it in free agency? Do you still see a young player coming along behind? You know, remember, Tyson Alualu is 33 years old, right? So they've got some guys they brought in a little bit longer in the tooth.
Yeah.
But they also just signed Robertson Harris to a pretty lengthy deal. How much work do they need to do in the draft on the line now that they give it so much attention in free agency?
Listen, you have starters, you have depth. If Christian Barmore is there, though, I'm not going to stop you, man. I mean, especially because Charlie Strong knows him, right?
Yeah.
Charlie Strong came from Alabama, was like the quote-unquote, I think, defensive, was it specialist? Yeah. Well, Urban Meyer's going to trust his coaches this year. So if Charlie Strong says, hey, 33 Christian Barmore, I'm going to sub at Christian Barmore.
I think what
just don't think he gets
BCB
that.
Ben did was go BPA.
Yeah, I know, for sure. For sure. I like that. We got Pat Fryermuth. I'm not mad at that number 45. And you know what? Richie Grant, safety, could help the Jaguars out a little bit. Probably the third or fourth best safety in this draft. You get him at 65. A little value.
Yeah, that seems more value.
Do I dare say the B word in value? There we go. I just did. Then Ben Cleveland, Jaden Hawkins. You know, I'm going to be honest here, Brent. Pick number 145. I can't pronounce his name, so minus points for that one.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. Can't pronounce that name.
How many safeties do the Jags need?
Can't pronounce. Well, I was going to get to that too as well. Yes, sir. And then we got Patrick Johnson as an edge, and we got Emir Smith Mercer, wide receiver.
Oh, yeah, out of Iowa.
Fast.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Fast.
Quick. Okay, speed.
Hey, that's
speed.
good value down there.
Okay.
If you could get him down there, that's a good. Listen, Noah and I did this a couple weeks ago while you were away fighting.
Sure.
And that guy that deep in the draft, flat out speed, it'd be a good gamble.
Listen, in a perfect world with Brent Martineau and Sunshine and Rainbows, where Barmore falls to 33 and Richie Grant falls to 65, why not? But this isn't a perfect world, Brent. This is shock your mock, okay? And I speak the truth. And one more question. Where's the offensive lineman in terms of the tackle? You see any tackles on there?
No tackles.
I see interior, which is fine, but you just got Ben Barch. Let's see how he plays out a little bit.
And you have Tyler Shatley re-signed.
Where's the offensive tackles
and
at,
you got
Brent?
Will Richardson.
Brent, where's the offensive tackles at?
I don't see any on this list.
BCB Ben. You were supposed to set the pace. You're supposed to come out the gate swinging. Trevor Lawrence, obviously, that was no more brain busters. But Gregory Rousseau, no. Christian Barmore at 33, probably not going to last there. I like Richie Grant, but once again, it's not a fantasy world. He ain't going to be there. And then the pick number 145, I don't know who that guy is. I can't pronounce his name. With all due respect to him, he might be an all-pro one day. So with that being said, you didn't address the tackle position, which could be a need going forward here. Do I dare say the very first one, the betting, I mean, we're talking about Austin Hicks here. I want an Austin Hicks leadoff man of the year, and who do we get? We get BCB Ben. His mock draft sucks. Is Austin Hicks still playing baseball, by the way? Is he playing?
Yes.
Okay, good. And by the way, I blew up my headphones. I can't hear anything, so I can't say what you're saying. Whatever. But yeah. So BCB Ben, your mock draft sucks. Coos, get this off my screen or off our screen eventually because I'm gonna vomit from this. I don't like it. I don't like Rosoga number 25. Great player, out of position. Thank you, Coos.
By the way, it's Aaron Hicks, not Austin.
Oh, sorry, Aaron Hicks. Yeah.
At 25, let me just ask you this.
Yep.
At 25, instead of Gregory Rousseau, if he goes here and goes like Kadarius Toney.
Is this you, by the way? Be honest. Are you BCB? Okay.
I'm not.
All right.
I would have an emoji next to that if I was.
If I had to give an emoji, it'd be a sad face, not a satisfied face.
But 25, you got a ton of value at some of those other spots. So this wasn't like all bad, even though Austin shocked your mock and said it sucked. But Gregory Rousseau, you don't like the fit.
No.
Would you almost like to see an offensive player now at 25, considering all the work they did on defense and free agency? Barmore, again, if he falls to you at 33 because of the value, I see that. And that happens in some of these mock drafts. I don't know if I see that happening in the real draft.
Yeah.
But you almost wonder if the attention, everybody's been mocking like Barmore or somebody like that, Moreg, the safety. Well, now that they satisfied some of those needs in free agency, I'm thinking offense more. At the end of the first round, tight end's probably too much of a reach. You're not going to go get Fryermuth with number 25.
Yeah.
But Kadarius Toney and guys like that now come into play, I think, for the Jaguars on offense.
No, and they have to. I mean, I'm not going to tell people how to do their mock drafts here, but I think when you talk about, Trevor Lawrence, are you going to take care of this dude? What kind of weapons does he have at his disposal, right? Because we got John Wick coming in, and we got to give him the weapons, Brent. We have to give him the arsenal. You've seen John Wick? Probably not.
No, I have. I've seen it a little bit, but not front to back.
Okay, well, it's a Keanu movie. So when you say, well, hey, Trevor, welcome. We got you Pat Fryermuth and Javion Hawkins. And you got Carlos Hyde and Marvin Jones as well. And you got Carlos Hyde, by the way. Hey, welcome to Jacksonville. No, man, where's that game-changing speed guy like you mentioned with some cats out of Florida?
How about 25 or 33 Travis Etienne if you were there?
I'm not mad at that either. I'll be honest. When I saw Gregory Rousseau, I saw red, Brent. I did because it's a luxury pick.
He's a good player.
He's a fantastic player. And I think he's going to have a great career in the NFL. But just how he fits in this defense right now, I can't see it. And the last luxury pick that the Jaguars made was who? Taven Bryan. Now, it's a different player, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to take luxury picks. I want to take game changers day one that can come in and make a difference.
Hey, BCB Ben, for your efforts, you get this lovely shirt, though. Shock your mock shirt.
Yeah, basically.
I'll reach out to you, or reach out to me so I can send it to you.
Yeah, reach out to him. I mean, you're going to send a shirt to yourself because I still have a feeling this was you that did the first one.
Me.
Okay.
Very nice open, by the way.
Kuz, you come fix my headphones too because I hit the wrong button on here and now I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I'll come in there.
Appreciate it, dude.
It's amazing how distracted he gets in Shock Your Mock season.
Oh, I mean, I get fired up. I get fired up, man.
Send your Shock Your Mocks to hashtag Shock Your Mock. Shock Your Mock. It'll be easier for us to find, and we will go through at least one a day.
Yes.
And Shock Your Mock season, which will take us all the way up to the April NFL draft, which means I'm giving away a shirt most every day.
Yeah, unless it's really bad and doesn't deserve one. Which this one was close. I'm not going to lie.
Ben, I had some nice things in there.
Okay, if it was up to me, you wasted your first round pick and you don't get a T-shirt. But thankfully, Brent's really nice, and you're still getting a T-shirt.
I am a heck of a guy. We'll be back. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Not too many moves in the free agency for the Jags this weekend, except head coach Urban Meyer questioning the whole process.
I guess the old days you could bring them in and meet them, have dinner with them, and you find out the football intellect, find out the character, find out that. So we had to do the thing you don't, I found out, is call someone who has a skin in the game, because they're going to not quite be, I don't see honest isn't the appropriate word, but so that was awful. I don't believe it should be that way. Not when you're making organizational decisions. I'm not sure how that rule came about, but to me, that's not good business.
And in March Madness news, the 7-seeded Florida Gators fell to the 15-seed Oral Roberts 78-81. And the 4th-seeded Florida State Seminoles will match up with number 5-seed Colorado Buffaloes tonight at 7:45 on TBS. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair. All one call away. I guess you could call Rex your home support system and not a typical brokerage. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. Want more? Of course you do. With all that convenience comes reduced fees, too. In fact, the average Rex homeowner saves over $10,000 when buying and selling a home. Want to get started? It's never too soon. Call 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. 833-739-4663. Florida license number CQ1057788. For further licensing disclosures, please visit rexhomes.com.
Got a business trip, long weekend, or maybe you just really want to try that new Toyota before you buy it? Then get it all when you rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. With easy online reservations and rental rates as low as $19.95 a day, there's nothing stopping you from hitting the open road. You can even rent 2021 models. Rent a Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Try it before you buy it and reserve your rental online at arlingtontoyota.com today.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
PDQ is bringing the heat with a new spicy chicken sandwich topped with our new signature PDQ sauce. Theirs might be good, but ours is just made better. Also try PDQ's new spicy nuggets for a limited time only at PDQ.
Hey, it's me, your cousin, from Boston. I'm on the radio doing ads for Sam Adams. Now I'll be known as the Sam Adams guy instead of the dude who fell in the quarry. Sam Adams Boston Lager is crisp and refreshing, which is why I bring a six-pack wherever I go, except the movies anymore. Sam Adams, from Boston with love. Here's the legal part. Watch how fast I can read. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Mass. Drink responsibly. Now, is that 30 seconds? Are we even close?
What's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jax. Your smart speaker brings ESPN 690 into your home office. All you got to do is say Amazon Echo, Google Home, play ESPN 690, and enjoy that succulent sports coverage.
The biggest names in sports coming to your mornings.
Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski.
Kevin, there were so many expectations about Baker Mayfield coming into this season, but what impressed you most about him?
One of the things I love about Baker is how he works. He's a gym rat. He grinds. He wants to be great, and he understands that there's no secret. You can't snap your fingers and it just happens.
The biggest names in sports every morning with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
I definitely do think I have a good grasp on this offense. I had great leaders back in Detroit, like Marvin, also like Danny Amendola. We had Kenny Galladay, but they kind of showed me the ropes. They taught me the ins and outs of Darrell Bevan's offense, and like I said, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Now I'm very comfortable for some of the younger guys to lean on me, but I'm excited for this opportunity. To work with a young quarterback. So. Especially to work with Marvin again. He's a great player, even better person on the field.
That is Jamal Agnew. Deduction.
Sure.
Teammates with Marvin Jones.
Yep.
His interest in that's the second guy they signed, and what do you think he gets? 40 offensive snaps all year, maybe.
Yeah. Probably not going to be a lot.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Again, I think they're going to add on offense in the draft. So, I just there's only so much room.
Yeah,
and Agnew, I think is a dynamic, dynamic return man,
which is fine.
With his speed, can you do some things on offense? Can you have a package or two? What was enticing? I mean, they spent some money. It's not as much money as people thought once the whole deal shook out, but. He's an interesting one. Put him and Chenault on the field at the same time, and defense is going to be like, what are they going to do here? Potentially. Yeah. I mean, I think you could run a package with those two guys in it. It'd be a lot of fun just to see if you can confuse the heck out of defenses. Hey, Gonzaga beats Oklahoma 87-71. Gonzaga's for real.
It's 2 games, Brent.
Yeah, 98 points and 87 points.
Okay.
I mean,
no, they're looking good.
Although Oregon put up 95.
Yeah.
Oregon doesn't play because of the forfeit.
Yes.
On Saturday.
Yeah. Fresh legs, they call that.
They call it fresh legs, but I also think you could argue rust. It could go the other way on you. Mm-hmm. You can get beat by 15 and be out of it just because you're not used to it. Getting your feet wet a little bit in the NCAA tournament is an important thing because nerves and shooting backgrounds and all that stuff. So that was impressive.
Yeah.
What they did to Iowa. That'll be big-time disappointment for the Hawkeyes, given the fact they have Garza. They had a team that could go deep. I'm not sure they would have got by Gonzaga anyway, but number 2 seed goes down. Anytime that happens, of course, it's disappointment.
What is it with Gonzaga and the hair all the time? Yeah. Either it's facial hair or it's long hair. Seriously, because what's that guy's name? The guy that's got the big mustache now. I can't remember
I'm
it.
looking at him right here in the
Yeah. Every year, y'all got to be a little extra with the facial hair, the long. I remember Kelly Olynyk back in the day. Saw him at an airport one time. Said what's up to him when he played at Gonzaga.
And was it Morrison before?
Yep.
It's something about those guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick thought. NBA, bad weekend in the NBA, huh? LaMelo and LeBron.
Yeah.
Both hurt. Now, LaMelo might be out for the year, but LeBron really, that could change a lot of things. High ankle sprain.
For sure.
You're out for a bit, and they're not going to risk it.
And I also find it funny that you mentioned LaMelo before LeBron because you're trying to push the narrative that LaMelo is a very popular basketball player right now.
I did that for Kuz. I looked right at Kuz.
I know.
But do you think that changes anything in the West, in the playoffs? Does it matter?
Honestly, as long as you get to the show, it doesn't matter where you're seated.
As long as he's healthy.
And I think he's going to be healthy by the time the playoffs start, so he should be okay.
I mean, keep in mind, Anthony Davis, too. I mean, they've got some troubles. I mean, they got to navigate this little stretch here, the Lakers do, without those guys. I'll say this. I don't get the feel the Lakers are going to win the title again.
No? What you got?
I feel like there's a little more satisfaction after the win last year.
A little more complacency?
A little, just natural for satisfaction and complacency to take the place of hunger.
Sure.
You know, now that they accomplished the mission, especially last year of all years, I'd be surprised if they won it again.
Who do you like winning it?
Well, I mean, could the Clippers have like this revenge tour? Yes.
Sure.
And obviously the Nets are very good.
They are.
You know, they're just so loaded.
What do you think about the 76ers? Best team in the
I don't
East?
see them winning it.
Ooh.
I don't see them winning.
Sorry,
it.
Kuz.
And your Bucks have a
By
lot
the
of
way,
work to do, too.
Don't worry about the Bucks. Hey, Kuz, did they give Giannis Antetokounmpo the key to the city yet after he sat in the middle of their floor?
No, they didn't.
Oh, they should. I can't wait till the playoffs start, man. I could be a good matchup. 76ers, Bucks. Little bad blood
little
there
heat
now.
right there now.
A little bad blood there
like
now.
it. Not Miami.
Yeah, Giannis, it's a mistake on his part. Why poke the bear before you need to?
Because he's a bear himself. That's why.
Football at 5 along the way, an hour to go here at Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. More NCAA tournament games ahead, or football talk on the way next on ESPN 690. We should always be looking at our finances, but 2020 made my family take an even closer look, a bit more of a deeper dive, and it might have done the same for you, even into the world of retirement. Although that's a bit down the road for me, it might be closer for you, and your plan should already be under a microscope. And you have to lean on the experts to help guide the right plan. My friend Mike Lester with Talent Wealth Management is the perfect partner. He will provide a complimentary analysis and a plan for you. Call him at 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com. That's 904-515-5000 or guardingyournestegg.com. Mike will give you the guidance you need as retirement gets closer. He can help you convert company plans to private plans, a move that might give you higher returns and more options. You've earned the money. Now make sure you are ready for whenever retirement will be. Call Mike Lester at Talent Wealth Management, 904-515-5000. That's 904-515-5000 or visit guardingyournestegg.com.
Honda of the Avenues is the winner of the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award, and you'll be satisfied too with the great deals happening in their service department. Honda of the Avenues has a 5% discount for seniors all the time and 10% military discounts. Plus, Ladies' Day is every Wednesday in the service department. That includes a free tire rotation with oil change and 5% off any other recommended service. See why so many people are giving Honda of the Avenues 5 stars. Find out more at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
If you're experiencing domestic violence, it is not your fault. Hubbard House is here for you. You are not alone. Hubbard House provides free services and emergency shelter to survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties. Call 904-354-3114 anytime, 24/7 to confidentially speak to a caring advocate.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Now that medical marijuana is being used in Florida, you need information. Just log on to the Mary YouTube videocast to learn about medical marijuana use in Florida. We talk to doctors, nurses, pastors, pharmacists, legislators, and law enforcement officials to bring you the most up-to-date information about medical marijuana use in Florida. Subscribe and never miss an update.
How do you measure the depth of your sadness? What number of arguments is too many? How do you count your sleepless nights? Don't. Count on DuPont Counseling Group at Jewish Family and Community Services instead. Our professional counselors can assist with everything from depression to relationships to children's issues. Trust DuPont Counseling Group to help you navigate life's challenges better. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for mental health. Here for Jax. Learn more at hereforjax.com.
No matter what you are driving, you can step up to luxury now at any of the Fields Auto Group dealerships in Jacksonville. Cadillac, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. So whatever you're driving, see Fields first and step up to luxury for less during this amazing opportunity. Visit fieldsauto.com.
Join the movement to end colon cancer. March to Get Screened is celebrating its 12th year supporting colon cancer awareness and life-saving screenings. Held on March 28th, March to Get Screened is a family affair including a 5K race, a 1-mile fun run, and fun activities for all. Safety measures will be in place, as well as virtual participation options. All proceeds benefit the nonprofit Borland Groover Foundation. Register today, donate, or for more information, head to marchtogetscreened.com. That's marchtogetscreened.com.
Baylor spent his entire playing career with the Lakers franchise. He also spent over 2 decades in the Clippers front office. The Lakers, according to point guard Dennis Schroeder, will have to overhaul their offense while LeBron James is sidelined with a high ankle sprain. Schroeder believes they'll have to play with more pace as well as be more scrappy defensively. This is a tenuous time for Los Angeles, explains ESPN's Dave McMenamin.
You're talking about him missing, anywhere, say 10 to 15 games, maybe at a minimum. And that could really impact where the Lakers are in the standings, because as is right now, they're 0-3 on the season without LeBron if you include that Atlanta game on Saturday.
Dave McMenamin on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Second-round action, NCAA tournament. Top overall seed Gonzaga continues its unbeaten run. Topped Oklahoma 87-71, 30 and 13 boards for Drew Timme. Oregon beat Iowa 95-80. Luka Garza had 36 points in the loss.
Download the DraftKings app and use code CJR to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
I think it just showed you, my work, and I've been doing this a long time at a high level. I wouldn't say it's pressure, just because I felt like even when I was in Cincy, when I was a young guy, I was a leader in a way, So I think everywhere I've been, every stop that I've made, I've been a leader, And that's not necessarily saying, I'm going to do and I'm be the one that's talking all the time and stuff like that. I like to show, and I think as you could look at my career, that's what you see.
Dorsett.
That's a good guess right there. Marvin Jones, I would say.
Dorsett.
They was probably asked about leadership with Dorsett.
Marvin Jones.
Everywhere he's been the Lions, hasn't he? Has he been anywhere else?
He mentioned something about Cincy.
Yeah, he's been in Cincinnati.
Let me hold on here.
We got to get the Carfax.
Yeah.
Cincinnati
Check
for
the
his
facts,
first
sponsored by Carfax.
his fifth-round pick of the Bengals.
Okay.
Played at Cal, by the way.
Okay.
His first, one thing you like about this guy, hasn't missed a ton of games.
No.
Knock on wood. Played 11 games his rookie year, then 16, 16, 15, 16. Played 9 games in 2018, then played 16 and 16.
Yeah.
And so, had a 1,000-yard year in Detroit in 2017, 18 yards a catch. And then, again, the touchdowns are there, man. Even in 2013 with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
10 touchdowns. So the guy knows how to get in the end zone.
That's all from 2 games, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's what I'm telling you, that's what he does every single year. He's got that 4-touchdown game.
4-touchdown game wins you a game, then it's worth a W.
Maybe in the playoffs. Why not? Let's go.
So it is pretty incredible. I mean, he's got 51 touchdowns, 423 catches.
Yeah.
What is
Impressive.
that? What's that equal? That's like 1 every 8.5 catches is a touchdown. That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do some work on that.
Do some work on that for sure.
Hey, Shipley or Demetrius Harvey or somebody, go do some work on that.
So
give me some analytics.
Back in 2013, talk to Tony Khan. Back in 2013, he had 51 receptions for 10 touchdowns. So that's a touchdown every 5 receptions.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a touchdown machine is
I
what
like that.
is.
I like that a lot.
But anyway, had good years with this boy. Quiet he's really been overshadowed. Yeah. I mean, now most recently Galladay in Detroit, you can be overshadowed anyway because you're not doing that great. But you got Stafford throwing you the football, and there's everybody else they're trying to work in. Whether it was Hawkinson, who they drafted top 10, and then in Cincinnati you got AJ Green, of course, and that's all you really think about when you think about receivers for Cincinnati. So,
did you like him going to the Cardinals? By the way,
I think to me that was almost a worse. First of all, the deal wasn't big. It was like 1 year, $8.5 million. So it's not crazy. It's not going to kill you. Same with the J.J. Watt thing. Yeah. But I think J.J. Watt has more left than A.J. Green. Green really feels like he's fallen off the table, man. Mm-hmm. And I know, again, a lot of injuries, but injuries are what happens when you get a little older. Mm-hmm. And once you get hurt, it's hard to get healthy. And I think they paid too much for J.J. Watt. I think they're getting the downside of J.J. Watt. I think they're getting the downer side of A.J. Green. But maybe it all blossoms and comes together like it did in Tampa. It did in Jacksonville a little bit for the free agency hits. It did in Denver for the free agency hits. Of course, Denver and Jacksonville got younger players on the rise. Mm-hmm. This feels a little bit more like a grab of some of the things that Tampa did to get people like the Gronk. Can he still produce, right? Mm-hmm. Antonio Brown, not old, but iffy.
True.
You know, that's what it feels like Arizona's doing a little bit here. And when you do that, you roll that dice, you better hope a lot of it hits.
Yeah.
Like you're looking for a lot of hits.
You are.
In a risky time frame.
The thing, though, with Arizona is that you're trying to turn back the hands of time a little bit. Right? Yeah. Because in Tampa Bay, and we broke this stat down before, it's still crazy to believe, but like Gronkowski and Travis Kelce are the same age. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It doesn't.
Does not make any sense, but they are.
Gronkowski looked a lot younger this year.
He did. Well, it's all that CBD that he was doing. Like, I mean, seriously, if you want to talk about a good endorsement for CBD.
I would imagine he's doing it, right?
He has his own.
Yeah. Oh, he's got his own brand?
Yeah. So, but then Antonio Brown as well. Like, age was never the factor with Antonio Brown. It was the off-the-field stuff, obviously, and all the distractions. If you look at right now in Arizona, though, like, yes, age is a factor for J.J. Watt. And obviously age is a factor for A.J. Green as well. So it's kind of the same narrative of what you're talking about in Tampa Bay, but it's different because you're trying to turn back the hands of time a little bit and get the best out of A.J. Green and J.J. Watt. Now, who knows? Maybe they find the fountain of youth, and they do. But I always just – it's hard to go toe-to-toe with Father Time sometimes, unless you're Tom Brady.
Absolutely. And so we'll see. Maybe they still have something left.
Yeah.
I think Arizona took a big risk that those guys have something left.
And you're not wrong.
We will find out. Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Football at 5 here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. I just put this out there. Historically, which positions have the Jacksonville Jaguars struggled to find talent? And so – here's lead. Let me lead off the game, okay? Quarterback.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
So you look at the quarterback spot. Obviously, Burnell, the best quarterback in franchise history. I always say David Garrard was way underrated and less appreciated than he should have been. I think he was, first of all, a fourth-round guy who delivered way more than anybody thought he would. Mm-hmm. And I always thought people would appreciate Garrard's play and performance more after he was done. And I think if you look back a decade now, I think that is true. I think people appreciate what Garrard did. Now, he was never one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And, you know, you're not wowed by him at what he did at the position, but he really was effective at the quarterback position, especially if you look at what the Jaguars have done since. And so now you look at recent history, and Blake Bortles is by far the best quarterback that they've had. You know, from a production standpoint. I mean, he got into the AFC Championship game, but we all know what Blake Bortles was, and, I mean, heck, you wonder if he even has a career now in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Gardner Minshew showed some signs, but never long enough to even hold the seat down. Mm-hmm. Blaine Gabbert was a bust. Mm-hmm. Nick Foles didn't work. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of guys in between that just, you know, you kick the tires on, you try, and really nothing happens. So you have a chance now with Trevor Lawrence to sarcastically, if you want to say it, comes in here and in September of this year, in the opening month of the season, becomes maybe the second best quarterback in franchise history.
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous to say, and it is, but it drives home the point.
Yep.
And quite frankly, by December, we might be talking about him already as we know this guy's going to be the best quarterback in franchise history.
It's crazy to imagine, but that's the picture that I can see in my head happening.
I think that's a picture a lot of people paint,
Sure.
you know? And so that part alone, that says the story.
But that's the obvious answer, the quarterback position.
Well, next up, probably on the list, is actually tight end.
I disagree.
Really?
Yes.
Where do you go?
I go safety all day.
Oh, yeah.
Think back to the safety the Jacksonville Jaguars have drafted where it's worked out here.
Oh, Donovan Darius.
Okay, you want to go back? When did he get drafted? What year was that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Donovan Darius was a big part of early on, but you're talking more recent history.
I mean, if you want to bring up Donovan Darius, then I'll say Mercedes Lewis at tight end.
Yeah, listen, I'm not debating that the position has been void.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
just
overall.
So he was drafted in 98, Donovan Darius.
I mean, and Darius was terrific.
Of course, he was fantastic. But if we're really talking about the last the last great safety the Jaguars have drafted is Donovan Darius, what does that say about your safeties draft class?
Yeah, and they've really tried some. I mean, you know,
you can say Nelson, but once again, like he was more of a talent other places than he was here.
Yeah, actually, and Reggie was better
Reggie Wood. Yeah,
Reggie Nelson.
Yeah.
He was better than than even the Jags probably were ready to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was a good player. Mm-hmm. But you're right, he had some of his better years after they parted ways, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good call. Like, I kind of think about it, and you're not wrong to say probably that safety is void of enough talent. As you go back in, this doesn't mean you can't name players that were good, from Pete Mitchell to Mercedes Lewis to, to Kyle Brady there have been decent players at tight end, but it's been void of production relative to the rest of the league, And I think safety is probably another one, although I think a safety I kind of think of it as a group in the secondary. So I go corners and safeties. And then if you add the corners, it's actually been a position of strength.
Sure.
From Rasheed Mathis to Jalen Ramsey to even when they brought over A.J. Boye.
Let's be honest, though, man. If you want to play it that route, then you got to add the wide receivers to the tight end group and say pass catchers.
That's probably fair to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, I'm not arguing against you on the safety stuff. Tight end is another. So quarterbacks, tight ends, safeties, they've been void of talent. There have been other areas, by the way, they've been very good.
Mm-hmm.
They've always had a running back.
Sure.
I mean, before Fred Taylor burst on the scene, I knew this organization because of Natron Means.
Yeah.
And again, I understand from a draft standpoint, and there's some the way you acquire it could be a little bit different. But then they had Fred. Then they had Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
Most recently they had Leonard Fournette, who, by the way, was ready to be third in the record books behind them if he had stayed another however many years, easily. Mm-hmm. Would have been matching some of those guys' numbers that they did, even if it didn't look as dynamic as those guys were. I'm not telling you that Fournette was better than them. I'm just telling you that he was getting ready to join them in the Jags record books. And now you've got a guy in James Robinson who was off to a heck of a start with 1,400 yards from scrimmage. They've always been able to find a running back. If you actually would take the identity of the Jacksonville Jaguars over time, you would probably say, man, they always have a running back.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Above anything else, you probably say they always had a running back.
Over everything else? Yeah, it's close. Because I'm trying to think back to yeah, I mean, for some reason, wide receiver sticks out to me right now. They've always had a wide receiver. But maybe that's just, that's the Allen Robinson. That's the Allen Hearns talking a little bit. Obviously, you had Blackman, but that didn't turn out well.
Oh, see, so this is where I love this part of it, okay? The wide receiver, I did this study years ago.
Okay.
And Jimmy Smith was in 2005. For a long period of time, he was the last guy. Remember, I got here about 2008. So in 2008, 9, 10, their offense is just awful, pitiful. And you're like, man, they don't even have the guy who can catch the ball. I mean, throw it to him or, that will impact the game in in a game that was transforming into more and more and more passing. Well, Jimmy Smith in 2005 had a 1,000-yard season. Of course, before that, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell were dynamic, right? Thunder and Lightning, they were terrific. It was just as much a part of the kind of the face of this franchise. Well, they went from 2005 all the way to 2014 without a 1,000-yard receiver in the NFL. That showed you how poor they were in wide receivers. Well, then all of a sudden, man, they get Allen Robinson. Has a huge year. Alan Hearns had the big year, undrafted free agent. They pick up Marquise Lee, who adds something, obviously never lived up to what everybody wanted. But then if you move forward, you have DJ Chark. You draft in the second round, Pro Bowl wide receiver. Now you wonder with Laviska Shenault, even a Colin Johnson. They've been now able to find the wide receiver position. I think you got to give a little credit to Dave Caldwell for being able to finally find the wide receiver position in an organization that couldn't for almost a decade.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. Yeah.
And so they flipped that narrative a little bit, kind of to the point where it's a great comparison to what I think they need to do with the tight end room. They need to find the tight end room, kind of like the Jags were able to now find the receiver room. Is it the best in the league? No. But were they more dynamic? Were they explosive? Were they a threat? Finally, yes. They need to find that. And over the next few years under Urban Meyer, because of the way the league has gone, they need to find tight ends that can now relate to the NFL and almost instantaneously become the most productive tight end room that they've ever had in franchise history. Quite frankly, it wouldn't be that hard to do.
I just think that it's kind of unique when we're talking about, and once again, I think it's a safety position hands down, because if you look at the swings and the misses at the safety position, that to me is number one. Now, yes, they have missed on the tight end position too, but they haven't really sacrificed a lot in the first couple rounds to try to get a tight end. You know, that they've usually drafted guys later on in the rounds. I mean, Josh Oliver comes to mind. He was a third-round pick. Obviously, third-round picks got to come in and contribute, and he hasn't done that yet. But set aside from the Josh Oliver pickup, and I'm looking, year by year here for tight ends, you don't see a lot of them in the top 3, top 4 rounds. So that's why I'm so adamant about saying I think it's by far the safety position. The peculiar thing about this draft, though, is we're talking about, in the second pick of the first round, or maybe in the second round we have the first pick going into it. Tight end and safeties could be two big needs, and those are two positions this franchise through history has not drafted well.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you can make it more of a priority. Like, I felt like that for a long time with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, they went a long time without even spinning the tires on quarterbacks in the early rounds.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, this is the most important position, folks. You might want to start spending some of those draft capital on a quarterback. And at least they did. They went got Gabbert. They got Bortles. Now they still missed, but at least they went and did some of that.
It's crazy seeing the safeties that they've taken. Like Quincy, I guess Quincy was more of a linebacker. They have him listed as safety when he got drafted.
Is he really?
Third round pick, Quincy Williams, Ronnie Harrison the previous
Quincy
year.
Williams is not a safety, though, for the Jags. He's a linebacker.
Ronnie Harrison. James Sample in the 4th round. You had... let's see what else we got here. Jonathan Cyprien. He was a safety, right?
Yeah.
SIP squad. He was taken in the 2nd round.
Yes.
So, yeah. So
one of the first picks they made.
Yeah. So you got a couple of, you got a couple swings and misses. And not to say Ron Harrison's not a good safety, but he's not here anymore. Like, that's what I'm kind of attributing to all this
too.
here,
I mean, Harrison looked like he was going to be a good player. I thought he was.
Yeah.
And he might still be a good player, but there's some maturity things there with Ronnie Harrison where it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I'll give you another position where I think the Jags turned it around. And this is where we get, maybe safety is one of them, although I feel like it's less impactful. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them or can't have them, but I feel like it's more important in this day and age for the Jags to get the tight end room right than it is to get the safety room right. And I just gave you the example of the wide receivers. Another room that they really changed the dynamic of is pass rusher.
Yeah.
Because early on, I mean, you got Tony Brackens, obviously. And then you had some nice players from Schmangy to Lageman to you name it. But then you have this big void where they really tried. Derek Harvey, right? Quentin Groves.
Austin
Lane. The
Lane.
late Quentin Groves.
Yep.
But they did. They tried. Larry Hart.
We tried.
But they spent spent picks to try to get it.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they knew it was a void. They tried to flip it around. Well, then if you really look at from what I would say 16 on, you pick up Yannick Ngakoue, and then, of course, you make the free agent acquisition of Calais Campbell. Just look at those two guys. They instantly become number 2 and 3 all time in sacks in franchise history. And now you have Josh Allen. We'll see about Chase Young. I'm not going to put him in this category. But if you look since 16 in a position where you've been somewhat void of super big production outside of Brackens, you now have Campbell, Ngakoue, and Josh Allen in like a 4-year span.
Sure.
So that's pretty good.
But ironically, too, you also had Dante Fowler and Taven Bryan.
You do. I would less put Bryan in this category. I'm not talking defensive linemen as much as I'm talking pass rushers.
Okay.
But Fowler fits.
Sure.
And I understand the angst on Fowler. And
Andre Branch, would you put him in the category?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's in that category, but he's a miss.
Yeah.
He's a windmill miss.
Yeah.
But
I see what you did there.
But see, I still have I hesitate to tell you that Fowler was awful. Like, he certainly wasn't as dynamic as he should have been.
He's not here anymore.
And no, he's not. But he just did some things that year, especially to get him to that AFC Championship game, and it was clutch.
Yeah.
Like, he was big in that postseason.
See, but I got that, man. I mean, he did come up
but
big, especially coming off the
production,
bench.
He's not even in the top 5 in sacks. Yes,
it's the Ronnie Harrison effect. Like, Ronnie Harrison's a negative because he's not here anymore.
Yeah, not here.
You know, and maybe he's still a good safety, but he's not here anymore. Dante Fowler could be a good, he could have a 10, plus sack season again like he did in L.A., but he's not here anymore.
Yeah, you're right. And for this conversation, that's where it fits. It's like, did you draft top 5, top 6, top 7 guys in franchise history at the position?
Yeah.
And through drafting Josh Allen, Yannick Ngakoue, and the acquisition of Calais Campbell, they really changed around what they've done historically here. Pass rushing.
Yeah.
Same thing as they were able to do with the wide receivers. So now the question is, can they continue to improve on those parts? But can they turn around the quarterback room and the tight end room? And to your point, maybe the safety room. Can they get dynamic in that back end?
Yeah.
And so that's why they've always seemingly had some decent offensive line play. Okay? From Brad Meester to Brandon Linder, to all the way back to Vince Manawai, to obviously the first pick ever, and Tony Baselli, to what they have on their interior now is, I think, sufficient.
Yeah.
I think tackles since Baselli, they've been trying to figure it out. They haven't been able to do it.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, you don't think Eugene was good?
I think I think he would fit the bill of the guys that we were just talking about. I mean, he lasted one contract and was just okay here in Jacksonville. I feel like Baltimore got the better side of Eugene Monroe.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't think he was a bad tackle at all, man.
I don't think he was bad.
I think you would much rather have him than even Cam Robinson right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought Eugene was bad. I just never really thought he
didn't do himself any favors when he got down to 280 in training camp because he wanted to be on the cover of Muscle or Men's Health. I mean, that didn't do him any favors, but I thought he was actually a pretty dependable left tackle, all things considered.
I'll tell you another position the Jags have done well with, and that's linebacker.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah.
They've had some really good linebackers, like even in the downtime, right?
Yeah.
Even like from Darryl Smiths, right?
Yeah.
To Puz.
Miles Jack.
To Miles to Telvin. I mean, even in this last 12 years where they have not been very good, their linebackers have not been very bad.
I'm not mad at those. I'm seeing the list here. I'm not mad at them. Yeah, I mean, they've really been staples of the defense when you look at it.
So, obviously, you could pick a lot of different positions. Quarterback is number 1 on the list.
Yes.
Tight end and safety is a very good number 2.
Yes.
That they need to get historical production from, and they just haven't been able to find.
Yeah.
Probably the top 3. And, well, if you can become dynamic in all phases, you'll be a pretty good football team. We'll see what they do in that regard. We'll take a break. We'll update you on the NCAA tournament, who won today, who else you can cross off your bracket because we know it's busted, and a little more football talk, too, on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Isolated showers along the coast, a cloudy and breezy day. Just not a great weather day out there. Afternoon temperatures in the mid-60s. Then mostly cloudy and breezy tonight, lows in the 50s. Partly sunny Tuesday, the weather improving, high 74. And then partly cloudy Wednesday, high 80 degrees. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Simo.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where right now you can get 5 years, 0-interest financing with nothing down.
There are so many razors out there. How do you choose which one's right for you? Well, at Dollar Shave Club, we got you. With a 6-blade cartridge for daily shavers with short hair and a 4-blade cartridge for less frequent shavers with longer hair. Still confused? Well, we put both blades in one new starter box, so you can test drive both. Check out dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, dollarshaveclub.com/ESPN, and visit DSE at your nearest store. You've got questions, we got answers. Welcome to the club.
Now at a store near you.
We're all ready for spring. Now's the time to get ready for spring projects with help from the Home Depot. Install a brand new faucet, lay down fresh new flooring, roll on a bright new coat of paint. Need to figure square footage or paint coverage? Our project calculators will do the math. Do it all from our app and get delivery right to your door. Download our mobile app to get started. Bring on spring with innovative help from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey, boss, how's it going?
How's it going? Oh, let me tell you how it's going. So far this year, I've broken my pinky toe, had a flat tire, and currently I'm trying to pass a kidney stone the size of Rhode Island.
Well, karma strikes again.
What?
Nothing. Oh, look, it's the first Crooks Are Us survey of 2021. They're asking crooks like us to list the top reasons we avoid safe touch houses.
There's the crash and smash technology, the video monitoring.
Yeah, but what's number one?
Gotta be the two-way communicator.
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah. The two-way communicator leads to verified alarms, which lead to faster response times, which are all very bad for us crooks.
Which all just circles back to the Crooks Are Us golden rule. Stay away from safe touch houses.
Yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Ever finally get around to trying something and it's so much better than you expected? Where you're mentally kicking yourself for not doing it sooner or wondering where it's been your whole life? That's how Griffin customers feel about their Florida-rated AC. They even tell me,
we're never going back to regular AC.
And it's the same for our Florida-rated water heaters, too. It's so much better, our customers wonder why no one told them about it before. Well, we fix what others can't. Tired of having to run a shower or faucet for 3 minutes before you actually get hot water? We can fix that.
Nice.
Tired of Jacksonville's swampy hard water hurting your appliances and hair? We can fix it.
Naturally.
Tired of a tank water heater going bad every 5 to 8 years or running out of hot water?
Yep.
Griffin can fix that big time.
Oh, yeah. I never knew I could have hot water as soon as I turn on the tap.
And my hair could be so much healthier. And my appliances can last longer.
Well, you can, but only if you call
GriffinService.com.
1430-261-1250-697.
Honda of the Avenues is the winner of the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award, and you'll be satisfied too with the great deals happening in their service department. Honda of the Avenues has a 5% discount for seniors all the time and 10% military discounts. Plus, Ladies' Day is every Wednesday in the service department. That includes a free tire rotation with oil change and 5% off any other recommended service. See why so many people are giving Honda of the Avenues 5 stars. Find out more at HondaoftheAvenues.com.
Though no longer little, teens still need a lot of love. Yet teens in foster care have a harder time finding it, as 82% of foster families are home to kids 12 or younger. You can positively impact a teen's life as a foster parent. With help from Family Support Services of North Florida, you provide patience, love, and understanding, and Family Support Services will offer specialized training, resources, and a community of support. Take the next step at foster-now.org. That's foster-now.org.
Where else can you get luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials? Only one place, at Culhane's Irish Pub at Atlantic Beach and on the south side. It's as Irish as you can get, owned by 4 Irish sisters. And they've got fish and chips, of course, shepherd's pie. Go today for lunch or dinner. Eat in, order out. Culhane'sIrishPub.com for the full menu. And try the new 5 Sisters vodka at happy hour. Luncheon, brunchin', boozin' specials, and so much more. 2 locations, Atlantic Beach and the south side. Culhane's Irish Pub, Irish sass with 5-star class.
Have you seen it? The all-new showroom at Arlington Toyota is open, and they're ready to celebrate with big savings, even on pre-owned. Celebrate savings and hearing the words, "You're approved." That's right. With Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, almost everyone is approved. Plus, if you want selection, Arlington's got it. With over 400 pre-owned on the lot, what are you waiting for? Celebrate with savings and come see the brand new facility at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Vote for this week's ESPN 690 High School Athlete of the Week, presented by Honda of the Avenues. Each week, an athlete with the most votes will be announced on Action Sports Jacks. To vote or nominate your favorite student athlete, go to ESPN690.com or check us out on ESPN 690's Facebook page.
Brent Martineau.
There's 3 islands, and it can be very nice and lucrative, by the way. You could be a huge winner, but you could be a huge loser, too. You might not have a boat to get home.
Austin Lane.
Well, I like that, and I love that analogy.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I would say he played a big factor. I mean, we all know what he's done at different programs in college, how he's a team builder. I mean, his philosophy, it aligns with my philosophy. He's really big in speed, sports performance, and just getting the guys ready to go out there and just play hard, play fast, play physical. You know, it's just something that we clicked on that, and that's what brought me here.
Well, good to hear from all the Jaguars free agents over the last couple of days. I think everybody's talked now.
Who was that one?
Philip Dorsett.
Yep.
Bam. Thought Adam Thielen for sure that time.
That one I just totally guessed that we hadn't used him yet.
No, I started with him.
Attention.
Oh, you started with him?
I have him on the list. I went down the list, and now I just went
Bring
back
it
up.
around town, Coos. A little revolution there for you. I like it.
Hey, if you missed it, Shock Your Mock season is underway. Make sure you check it out. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Go subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. A bunch of people listen on the podcast. We appreciate it. But BCB Ben is our first Shock Your Mocker.
Yes.
And it got shocked.
I'm not holding back this year, Brent. I don't think I really ever do hold back.
Full go.
Yeah.
Plenty left in the tank after that 2.5-minute fight last week.
Oh, you better believe it. Now we'll see how me and you could get along the next couple weeks. But yeah, I should have plenty of energy to keep on going here.
Yeah. So send them in at #ShockYourMock if you're on Twitter, or just find us. We'll find it. But we'll pick one each day. Leading up to the draft.
Should we ask not I say celebrities like we're somebody, but I mean draft experts like NFL Network to do one?
Sure.
Okay. That's kind of your thing. You know, the connections you have.
Why don't you just say, hey, can you ask somebody?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have more Twitter followers than I do. You don't let me forget about that. So
highly connected.
See what we got. I mean, we're an ESPN affiliate.
We are.
Yeah.
I'll put a special request in. Maybe we just reach out to Jason Fitz.
See if Bachman would do it and then shock his mock.
Just all Iowa guys. Just all corn-fed. I don't know who's Iowa's quarterback this year coming out. Is there a guy coming out?
CJ Beathard back again.
There you go.
I mean,
trade for CJ Beathard.
I feel like there's been an Iowa invasion in Jacksonville.
Explain.
I just feel like everybody's from Iowa.
Oh, for real?
Like everybody's got an Iowa connection.
I mean, who else besides
Borish?
Okay,
my man
true.
Noah.
Okay,
CJ Beathard in for a workout or a try. I mean, Chris Doyle.
Okay. Hey, say no more. I got you. Okay, there's a big connection. Got you. Okay, you're not wrong.
I mean, we growing corn around here or what? So they do in Iowa. Yeah,
that's about it.
This is the new field of dreams, Jacksonville, Florida.
Is this heaven? No. Is this Iowa? No. It's Jacksonville.
Great.
Right? And I nailed that?
All right.
Good,
I think we just made a shirt.
Good.
Another one.
I like it. Another one.
Abilene Christian on top early over UCLA.
Yes.
I think UCLA is going to pummel Abilene Christian today.
What do you do? When?
I know they're down by 4 early. It just started. But
what do you mean just started? We're in the game a little bit. Do you think UCLA is going to actually pound?
Oh, now they're up 16-12. They scored 8 in a row.
UCLA is up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think UCLA is going to throttle them today.
Okay. Any other bold predictions for you?
No, with the
tournament?
Listen, I watched that game in misery because of Texas.
Yep.
And I love the upset, but that was such a fluky win. That was like your typical Cinderella, what also makes March Madness terrific.
Sure.
But that was a fluky win. Like, they're just an okay team. I told you earlier, they shot 30%, 19% from three-point land, and they hit some crazy shots even to get that high in their field goal percentage.
Okay.
To beat. Now, how about this? Texas didn't. I think Texas went on 2 droughts that lasted 12 minutes. They scored 1 point.
Yeah.
1 point in 12 minutes.
So,
now, Abilene Christian's defense is very good. That's why they're there.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you're making excuses for Texas, though, a little bit.
No, I'm telling you, I can't believe Texas lost. Like, I don't know how you lose to a team that, first of all, is not better than you.
Yeah.
And secondly, shoots 30%, 19% from three, and you lose to them.
But it sounds like you're saying that Abilene Christian isn't a good team and Texas just got unlucky. Like that's what it sounds like from my perspective. Well, listen, I didn't come out here and say, well, Illinois, they got lucky. Like, no, Illinois just sucked that game. Like,
no.
And my bracket sucks.
Well, Texas bleeped the bed, okay?
There you go. Thank you. Yep.
But Abilene Christian was a fluky win is my point.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this. The team I was probably the most impressed with of all the games I watched, and I don't watch everyone front to back, but
hit me with it,
is UCLA. No, really, UCLA was
LSU.
UCLA, if you go watch that game, I'd love to get like a coach's perspective on this.
LSU, yeah.
LSU is pretty good.
I told you, Final Four.
Ty thinks LSU is going to win tonight.
I think so,
beat
too.
Michigan.
Okay, so all of a sudden me and Ty are on the same team now? Because I got LSU in my Final Four.
Yeah, I know.
So.
That'd be something.
Okay, Ty, I see us joining forces.
But UCLA, if you watch that game, I would suspect if you're a coach, like if we got Driscoll on and we asked him about that game, I would suspect that UCLA played with an intensity standpoint like a perfect game. Like they played every possession on defense against BYU. I thought they were in their shorts, man. Like they didn't take a possession off. I'm not even talking the offensive end. They got hot and they hit some shots as well. Yeah. But what they did to stymie BYU.
Yeah, banging on the floor.
They were good.
Let them know whose house it is. Yeah.
They were good on defense. And I actually think that was a theme of the overall weekend, that if you got down and dirty and played defense, you did all right. Which, logic says that's going to be the case. That's a hard thing to do, is get your team to play 40 minutes of defense, heck, even 30 minutes of defense in college basketball.
Absolutely.
And I think the teams that did that pulled upsets looked really good. And I thought UCLA, it doesn't often jump off the TV that a team's playing good defense. I thought it jumped off the TV to me that UCLA played excellent defense against BYU. And I don't know how good UCLA is overall, but I think this is a game this is what Florida hoped they were going to get into. They were going to get into an Oral Roberts team that got lucky.
Yeah.
The problem is Oral Roberts pretty good.
Yeah.
Abilene Christian got lucky. I guarantee you UCLA wins by 15 plus.
Okay. 16-12 right now in the first half. I'm just going to say right now, and Kuz, make this a button. If you better hope that Abilene Christian doesn't come back and pull off a miracle, because I will never let you live this one down.
That's fine. I mean, okay? I kind of hope they do. I'm rooting for every upset.
Do you know these guys saying they're going to get throttled because they got lucky?
I'm just telling you that's reality.
Okay.
Like they are.
I'm just going to say I'm going to need to save just any credibility that I have in college basketball. I'm going to need Ohio to win tonight and also LSU to win tonight.
All right. I think we have some unbelievable games coming up today.
Hit me with them.
Ohio Creighton.
Yes.
The Ohio story is really awesome. Do you see that one player, the Preston kid?
Yep.
That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Kid's from, I think he's from Orlando area too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was writing, he blogged. You saw this story, right? He wanted to get into be like a sports journalist.
Yes.
And so he bothered everybody and said, "Can I write for you? Can I write for you?" And somebody who a blog for the Detroit Pistons picked him up. Said, "Yeah, sure, you can write for free. What the heck?" Well, he ends up going to UCF, or he's going to go to UCF, I think is the story. And I think he was for journalism. And somewhere along the way, he grew 4 inches.
Yeah.
And ends up like a stud at Ohio.
Yep.
But playing college basketball. He's a great story.
Recruiting. I mean, he was an afterthought in terms of recruiting.
Yeah, because he was 6 feet tall, and now he's 6'4".
Yep.
So I probably just messed up his story, but go check it out. It's a pretty cool story.
He was on fan. It was fan. You say fan-sided? I think it was fan-sided.
Something like that, yeah, where he was writing. And now I think they say he's a second-round NBA prospect.
Yep.
Which second round's a little iffy in the NBA.
No, it is, but that still says something. I mean, that's
pretty
something to take
unbelievable.
pride in, man.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's pretty cool. So we got that game. I think could be good. I think Creighton's pretty good, though. Yeah. Keep an eye on that one. LSU, Michigan. You think LSU, obviously.
LSU, please.
Michigan, though, looked really good, even without Shivers there.
LSU, please. LSU's got some talent. I don't know. It's Michigan. I don't care.
Give me the shivers. Colorado and Florida State could be really good.
Great game.
I have no idea what to expect from Colorado, although I think they might have just played their best game. They played really well.
What are you going to expect from Florida State?
I think I know what to expect from Florida State. I think they'll have probably a better offensive output. They didn't hit a three-pointer in that win.
Yeah, that's insane.
I think I saw they were the first team since 2014 Kentucky to win a game in the NCAA tournament without hitting a three. What I expect them to do is shoot better.
Sure.
And I think Florida State wins the game. I think they're better, but that's with me admittedly not knowing a whole heck of a lot about Colorado. Mm-hmm. I also think it's tough to play that good 2 games in a row. I think Florida State didn't play that great. Colorado played really great. And so I give the edge, no doubt, to Florida State. Maryland to Alabama. Maryland looked pretty good in that first game.
Alabama didn't look that good in the first game.
They didn't. So do they get right and trounce Maryland? That's the one game I could see as a blowout.
Alabama beating Maryland, obviously. Yeah, I mean, regular season Alabama's a great team. Like they're only like an NBA style of offense. They could put up points really quickly. So I'm not going to say you're wrong there when you say this could be a blowout.
All right, and then the last one might be the best game of the day. Tough pick.
Hit me with it.
USC Kansas.
Yep.
Really good. Really good.
Yeah. I have USC winning this game.
I think I did too.
Yeah.
Which means Kansas will win.
So Kansas by 20. Kansas, I don't know about Kansas. It seems like, and for whatever reason, like when I was a kid and even in high school, Kansas was the team. Like Final Fours, championships. But it seems like the past 5 or 6 years, whenever I pick Kansas to go far, they always disappoint me. Like Kansas, to me, is like, I'm trying to compare them to a team that would make any sense. Kind of like a Duke. I mean, Duke's gone to the finals, though. I don't know. Kansas, to me, they underachieve in the tournament.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about them.
Well, they've had plenty of
no, they've won some. Don't get me wrong.
They
but
come more ballyhooed than their trophy case shows.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
So watch. This is the year they'll go win one.
Kansas going to win.
That's what happens.
Put your money down right now. Kansas going to win the whole thing.
It's
going to be Kansas and Abilene Christian.
No, it's not. UCLA's up 19-12.
Okay.
The route is on.
Okay.
But anyway, I think we're really good games on this Monday, and they've staggered these to you're getting a bunch of games in prime time.
Yeah.
And so you get a couple afternoon games, but really the lot of the games kicks off tonight around 6 o'clock, and you already got this UCLA Abilene Christian game going for now. Let's take one more break. We get back to some football to put a bow on the show here on a Monday as now the draft countdown goes.
Do you know how much Kyle Pitts weighed in at today, by the way?
No.
Want to take a guess? Take a guess of what his size and his height and his weight was. Interesting.
Trying to think
and keep in mind,
I've heard what he was.
And he ran a 4.46, everybody.
What is he, 6'6" guy?
Correct.
And I'd say he's got your frame. 240.
Okay. You cheated.
No,
yeah, that's what he weighed in. I thought it was lighter than 240. I thought he was lighter.
6'6", 240.
He weighed in 6'6", 240. Let's go in the parking lot right now. Let me try one out quick. Let me see what I can run.
6'6".
It's my size.
240.
That's how much I weigh. That's how tall I am. That's how tall.
4.46. Would you run the 40 in?
I was 276 pounds at the combine, sir, and it was a 4.8.
That's pretty good.
I could. Might have a 4.5 in there.
But even this, nobody says 4.46.
I know it's 4.4.
4.4.
I'm just saying.
He's closer to 4.5 than he is 4.4.
Yeah, I might be closer to 4.5 right now too.
We'll be back on ESPN 690. Running to this break at 4.325 speed.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Monday. I'm Jake Mitchell. Not too many moves in the free agency for the Jags this weekend, except head coach Urban Meyer questioning the whole process.
I guess the old days you could bring them in and meet them, have dinner with them, and you find out the football intellect, find out the character, find out that. So we had to do the thing you don't, I found out, is call someone who has a skin in the game, because they're going to not quite be, I don't see honest isn't the appropriate word, but so that was awful. I don't believe it should be that way. not when you're making organizational decisions. I'm not sure how that rule came about, but to me, that's not good business.
And in March Madness news, the 7-seeded Florida Gators fell to the 15-seed Oral Roberts 78-81. And the 4th-seeded Florida State Seminoles will match up with number 5 seed Colorado Buffaloes tonight at 7:45 on TBS. The SportsCenter update is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The Seminoles are here.
Ducks in the good shot again. Walker is going crazy. Knowles win it all. Just the triple. Good shot. You'll hear the horn. The Knowles will win.
Catch the action all season long right here on your radio home of the Seminoles.
Hear FSU basketball on ESPN 690. Thanks to Donato's Pizza, where every piece is important.
It's been 6 months since my wife leased her new Cadillac from Fields Auto Group, and she absolutely loves it. It's our first experience with Fields, and it's been terrific. They say you can step up to luxury for less, and we did. Not just a luxury Cadillac XT6. The car is beautiful, but the customer service is extra special, too. It was like that at Fields Cadillac Jacksonville, and it will be like that at any of the Fields locations in Jacksonville. Cadillac, of course, Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche as well. Yes, it's luxury for less at all Fields Auto Group locations in Jacksonville. Plus, you'll also be part of their exclusive Fields Amenities program, where you will get complimentary loaners, car washes, and cafes. We are now part of that Fields Amenities program, and my wife tried the loaner program. It was easy and a nice added benefit. So whatever you're driving, see Fields and step up to luxury for less. Check out their locations all around Jacksonville, just like we did. You can go visit fieldsauto.com.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Smoked for hours, served in minutes. Now that sounds like good barbecue, and it is at Willie Jewell's in St. Augustine at Mirabella Crossing. Open 7 days a week. It's old school barbecue. Trivia night on Monday. Kids eat free on Wednesdays. Check out the Willie Jewell's app and catering for all events. Voted best wings in St. Augustine as well. Visit williejewels.com and visit Willie Jewell's at Mirabella Crossing in St. Augustine. Old school barbecue, smoked for hours, served in minutes. At Willie Jewell's.
Jacksonville is booming, and it's a great time to start or grow a business. Whether you're an HVAC company, food truck, or just a crazy entrepreneur, One-to-One Financial can help you reach the next level. We're the #1 small lender for small business, and we work with folks the banks ignore. You're never too small for your hometown credit union, and we're the only CDFI certified institution in Jacksonville. Learn more about One-to-One Financial's award-winning business services at 121fcu.org. Approved SBA lender, federally insured by NCUA.
Children who've been abused, neglected, or have serious emotional issues need a comforting place to heal. Daniel offers them residential treatment with intensive therapy, but needs your help in furnishing one of the children's cottages. Please help Daniel raise $150,000 in 150 days to furnish their future. Every new bed or dresser helps create an environment of hope and healing for local kids in crisis. Donate at danielkids.org.
Honda of the Avenues is the winner of the 2021 Dealer Rater Consumer Satisfaction Award, and you'll be satisfied too with the great deals happening in their service department. Honda of the Avenues has a 5% discount for seniors all the time and 10% military discounts. Plus, Ladies' Day is every Wednesday in the service department. That includes a free tire rotation with oil change and 5% off any other recommended service. See why so many people are giving Honda of the Avenues 5 stars. Find out more at hondaoftheavenues.com.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
For survivors of domestic violence in Duval and Baker counties, Hubbard House provides free, confidential emergency shelter and services. Call our 24-hour hotline at 904-354-3114.
Unfiltered. Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mahente.
You actually shouldn't have never benched Mitch Trubisky when he was 3-0. You probably would have put yourself in a much better place right now today.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin. Weekday mornings at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, your smart speaker, or on ESPN News.
Because one thing about Coach Meyer, it's all about winning. So he's going to figure it out, how to get the wins, how to consistently get wins, how to get a lot of wins, to build a winning program here, build the right culture, get the right guys in here to, when he's not around, he got his guys in there, he can count on that, keeping the culture alive, keeping guys, bought into the program.
Carlos Hyde?
Yep.
I wasn't even paying attention.
Don't worry, I got you.
Does that one make you feel good, though?
Nah.
Good. That's what I wanted.
Brett Martin, Austin Lane, Coos on a Monday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Give Me One Thing is up next here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from the weekend. Keep in mind, we got FSU Hoops playing tonight, 7 o'clock right here on ESPN 690. Live, local, loud coming up next. We'll have everything for you tonight on the TV side as well, CBS 47 and Fox 30. And while you're roaming around and watching some TV, click on ESPN690.com. Buy the Dream 18 card. You can still do that. Discounted golf, free stuff from local businesses. Go check it out, ESPN690.com. We will have Shock Your Mock again tomorrow. But how about Give Me One Thing before we get there?
Listen, I guess I'm on a college wrestling fix right now.
You are? I like this.
But give you one thing. Spencer Lee won his third NCAA title at 125 pounds from the University of Iowa. That's not the one thing, though. This dude did it with torn ACLs in both of his knees.
Wow.
He tore an ACL, I guess it would have been like early in the season, and then just 8 days before the finals match, he tore his other ACL in a match. So, I mean, it was prevalent. He had both knees wearing wraps and they're kind of bandaged up, but became a 3-time NCAA champion with 2 torn ACLs. I see people, and this is the best part too. How much time we got? We got a little time. This is the best part on Twitter. Well, were they fully torn ACLs or were they just partly torn? Hey, the guy's got 2 torn ACLs, and he just completed one of the toughest feats in all of sports and won an NCAA title at wrestling. The end. Bad dude. One of the baddest dudes in the world. Shout out to Spencer Lee.
2 ACLs torn.
But maybe there's partially torn ACLs, so it's not a big. Come on. Stop that.
ACL is one of those weird things, where you tear it, but you walk away. It's such a significant injury. It takes such a long time to repair.
Yeah.
Yet it sometimes, I've never done this, but I think some people say it doesn't even hurt.
Okay. So are you saying it's not that impressive? Because you're starting to sound like one of those Twitter people
No,
now.
I'm not. I'm just saying it's a strange injury that you can actually function.
You can't, until you step on it wrong, the thing just gives out.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, but you can walk. I'm not saying I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm saying a football player can tear his ACL on a play and stand up and walk off the field. Now, not all the time.
Not all the time.
But sometimes can.
Yes.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's a freak injury. Because an MCL tear.
If you get a torn Achilles, you can't walk on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, carry me away.
Correct. Yes.
And it's super long rehab, and it's very painful. It's a very hard thing to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
But ACL is a long rehab. Yet it's not painful from that, as painful, I guess. And I'm sure for some people who do it, it really hurts like a son of a gun. Yeah. But it's just wild to see, sometimes people don't even know they've torn their ACL, and they've actually torn their ACL.
Yeah, usually when you blow out your knee, it's not just the ACL, it's also the MCL and the PCL and the meniscus and whatever LCL you got left. But with an ACL, though, you may not know that you've done it or it doesn't feel like an ACL, but then all of a sudden you step on it wrong one time and stuff just gives out, and then it's like, okay, yeah, something's not normal here.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never torn an ACL. Not going to work.
As we were heading back from break, when I said UCLA was going to pummel Abilene Christian, they had rolled off 18 points in a row. Since then, Abilene Christian has scored a bucket. So it's 26-14 now.
Okay.
But I got 15-plus win, and it's looking good so far for UCLA. Mike, give me one thing. Speaking of blowouts, maybe, and some people on Twitter shared this and said, all I said was Florida State baseball, very impressive this week. Mm-hmm. They swept Miami after beating Florida midweek, but they crushed them. Like 44-4, they outscored Florida, Miami. Number 5th ranked, 6th ranked teams in the country. Florida State baseball, who had actually got off to a struggling start. They got swept by Pittsburgh. They got beat by UNF. And now, this past week, unbelievable, 44-4 over 2 of the top 6 teams in the country. Whew. That's how good they were. Didn't make an error all weekend against Miami. I think they struck out like 50 guys in 36 innings. Their pitching was terrific. And some folks, some baseball fans for Florida State say it might have been the best weekend in the history of the school.
Wow.
If you add it up.
Wow.
I mean, and they've been unbelievable at baseball for a long time.
Yeah.
So the history there is tremendous. But it might have been the single greatest weekend of baseball Florida State has ever played. Pretty wild.
Very impressive, man.
So that's my give me one thing.
I like it.
Here for today. Enjoy the Monday March Madness NCAA tournament. Again, we'll have 7 o'clock. ESPN 690, your home for Florida State basketball. They go toe-to-toe with Colorado. That's a 4-5 matchup. It's tough to get a chalk matchup in this bracket.
Kuz, Florida State, are they rocking the turquoise jerseys tonight? Did you just retweet that?
I saw that. I'm not sure if that's tonight or if they're working on bringing them back.
Turquoise jerseys, your thoughts?
Yeah, they're rocking them. They wouldn't tweet that if they weren't rocking them tonight.
Okay.
I like them.
Okay.
You don't?
I'm not mad at them. It's just
I kind of like it.
You're going to change it up all of a sudden in the tournament now? Like, I don't know. I can mean something, but that can be bad juju
They
right
don't
there.
need any of that superstitious stuff.
Okay.
Hey, listen, they want to break it up. They didn't hit a three-pointer the other night.
Good point. Let's go turquoise. Let's go pink, whatever we can do. We got to change something.
Just
That's a good point.
Let the threes fall.
That's a good point.
They'll be raining tonight. They'll be wearing turquoise for the rest of the tournament.
Oh, that's a good point.
So that should be a good one tonight. More college basketball. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Live, local, loud coming up next, ESPN 690. We'll see you on TV later tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good one, everybody.
Welcome to Moe's and good morning at Moe's. In St. Augustine only at 312 and US 1, it's the only Moe's in the country serving breakfast burritos. Try it. You'll love it. Full breakfast menu only at the St. Augustine location. They put the fast in breakfast. Made to order in the drive-thru. Try the Home Wrecker breakfast burrito. Your choice of bacon, chicken, or steak with scrambled eggs, shredded cheese, and seasoned potatoes. Served daily at 6 a.m. St. Augustine location only. Make it a better morning with Moe's.
Life is complicated. We all know it, and all can use the proper support system. You know what else can be complicated? Owning a home. And that's why Rex was built to go beyond the simple real estate transaction. Full-service agents for buying and selling, mortgage services, insurance quotes, escrow and title, even home repair. All one call away. I guess you could call Rex